3 of the Virtual Fun Cup Championship. Round number 3 brings us to the halfway point of the season and also brings us to the Oulton Park circuit here in the UK. My name's Chris McCarthy. A pleasure to have you along. As always, we are currently in a 30-minute qualifying session. 4 minutes of that are about to be completed. Then we will have 2 30-minute races. This qualifying session will form the grid for race 1, and race 2 will be formed of the finishing positions of race 1, albeit with the top 6 reversed. It's very close in terms of championship. On your screen, Riley Phillips, he sits second, 6 points back from Max Leonard and 1 point ahead of Piers Stockton. So just 7 points between our top 3, those 3 sharing the wins between them so far this season. Alongside me, as ever, is Guillaume Alvarez. Guillaume, welcome along to the commentary booth as ever, albeit virtually. How are things over in Belgium?
Yeah, good evening, Chris. Good evening, everybody. Things in Belgium are quite okay, I must say. We had some snow on the ground falling today on some, some parts of the country. Yeah, in the UK as well, I've heard. So yeah, we took a bit of a time off to enjoy the snow and have a bit of a break between jobs. And apart from that, this is the good usual, as we're still under curfew conditions and curfew system here in Belgium. Not quite as severe as you guys in the UK, obviously, with the lockdown and everything. But things are currently going as they go, and we try to keep it positive and to keep looking ahead. And once again, a great pleasure to be at your side tonight for round 3 of the Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series, indeed. And this is home soil for you guys in the UK.
Perfect stuff. Well, let's show you around the Oulton Park circuit. One person who knows the circuit very well is Riley Phillips, who's on screen himself. He's been there 3 times before. So Andrew Phillips, our director, is now going to put us on board with Riley, and we're going to take you round for a lap of the circuit. So this is the second to last corner, Lodge, which takes us downhill and uphill once again through this flat out left-hander. I've been a passenger in one of these around here, and I can tell you it is as good as it looks. So we're going to head up towards Old Hall Corner first. Quick right-hander down the gear. Once we come out of there, we'll be making our way down towards Cascades. We flick right, then make our way downhill for turning left again. You can do an overtake here if you get a good enough run out of that first corner. Long left-hander, feels like it goes on forever. Use the curb and a bit more on the exit, and then we make the run down towards Island Bend. Here is where you can do a shorter version of the circuit to your right, but we're going to flick left through this very quick left-hander and now into the looped hairpin. Shell Oil's corner. Got to stick on the inside. Use the curb to take you round. Now we make our way up towards Britain's, the chicane. A lot of curb going to be used through here, so stick to the right-hand side of the track, then you'll see awful wheels over. Place the car perfectly to get a good run through the right-hander and up through the left, and now we go up towards Hilltops and make our way down towards Knickerbrook. Then another overtaking opportunity right here. Downhill braking zone, so a longer braking zone than usual. Use the curb on the right, sit in the middle of the circuit, back left, and then we're going to pull over to the left. And Riley Phillips at that point is going to slow down for us so we can see the track in a little bit more detail. That's a real shame. But let's stay with him so you can see the rest of the circuit. Druids is going to be coming up next. This, what people tell me, is one of the most fun parts of the circuit. Very quick section as they come up through the left, and Riley's going to park it for us before we go through Druids Corner. What a shame. Here he comes. He's going to go on the grass. Let's go with Jay Shepherd. So this is out of Druids Corner. Very quick corner, and now we're going to make our way up towards Lodge. Once again, we've seen it at speed. We'll see it once more. Jay Shepherd, who took me round this circuit in a Fun Cup car a couple of years ago, now riding on board with him. What a weird sensation this is as we now come up towards the start finish line, and Jay Shepherd is going to do a 156.617, and that's good enough for 5th place here.
Yeah, beautiful lap on board with Jay Shepherd. I must say, as I told you, Chris, before, I'm not the most familiar with the layout of Oulton Park. Of course, still a well-known name among motorsport communities, of course, especially in the UK, but outside of it as well. But I got to say that, checking out a bit about the track history and the layout in itself, I must say, I find it very amusing and very challenging. And as you guys have noticed it while we were on board with Jay Shepard, actually, this is going actually up and down pretty much all the time with some technical corners as well. A very narrow layout for most of the circuit. So once again, this should provide us with a lot of fun tonight, as always. But we're going 2 weeks ago, as you guys remember, we were on the big Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, which was one of the longest tracks in the world. And here we find ourselves on a much shorter track. Almost looks like a karting track to me, with all those different elevations and tight corners. But that should be good fun.
It should indeed. Jay Shepard here now making his way through Knickerbrook. Let's go on board with him. I'm going to ask Andrew to pop us on board with Jay Shepard. So this is what Druids looks like at speed. So we come uphill, blind entry now into the left-hander. Stay across to the left-hand side of the circuit, flick down a gear, carry all the speed into the right-hander, double apex corner, and then we come back out again. That's what Druids looks like. And now let's find some of our championship contenders. Perhaps Jay joined us for the second round. Let's see what he does across the line first of all, because he's on a pretty good lap so far. 6-7 tenths gain would put him up into the top 3. So let's see where he goes. He could be one to watch here because he knows his track very well. He's going to come across the line and it's going to be good enough for 5th place. So a good lap there for Jay Shepard. Pierce Stockton has just improved. I'm going to see if we can find Max Leonard, because Max Leonard is our championship leader, and here he is. He's making his way up towards the final 2 corners, so he's going to head into Lodge Corner now, and Max Leonard just giving himself a little bit of space. So realistically, this should be one of the places Max Leonard struggles. I can't see that happening though. The Brits, this is really where they could excel and get some points back over Leonard. There's not many they have to get. Of course, Riley Phillips took the win, the second win at the Nordschleife last time round, the reverse grid race. Let's go and find Piers Stockton, shall we, next. He is 3rd in the championship. Let's see if we can put ourselves on board with Piers. Here he comes now in towards Britain's, making his way back out. So Dave Farrow ahead of us. A shame what happened to him in the second race at the Nordschleife. I believe that's Riley Phillips we have behind us, and he's giving Piers a little push now as we go downhill. These two were doing an endurance race together yesterday, now pushing each other around as Piers Stockton makes his way through Knickerbrook. There we can see Riley behind us. They're chasing down Dave Farrow, who sits 5th in the standings so far. Guillaume.
Yes, Chris, a little word in French as well for our viewers tonight. Bonsoir à toutes et tous, chers amis, et soyez les bienvenus en Angleterre sur le circuit de Oulton Park. Soyez les bienvenus pour le 3e round, la moitié de ce championnat, la Winter Cup, la Winter Series, pardon, de la Virtual Fun Cup, la série hivernale mise sur pied par Philips Motorsport avec le soutien de M3M et Jean-Luc Dubois qui l'on salue s'il nous écoute. Nous sommes ici de l'autre côté de la Manche chez nos amis britanniques, Oulton Park, un circuit évidemment connu non seulement au niveau local évidemment, mais dans le monde du sport automobile de manière générale, un des hauts lieux de la compétition sur 4 roues de l'autre côté de la Manche, et un véritable plaisir d'être parmi vous de nouveau ce soir pour la 3e épreuve. Nous sommes à mi-parcours dans cette compétition hivernale qui compte 6 épreuves. La prochaine nous emmènera en France sur le circuit du Le Dénon. Mais avant, pas mal de fun encore à avoir tous ensemble ce soir. Nous sommes ici dans pleine séance qualificative et à bord de la monture de Pierce Stockton, l'un des 4 pilotes britanniques engagés dans cette compétition virtuelle, la Winter Series. Nous avions donc cette compétition. Oh, une petite touchette là-bas pour Pierre Stockton qui part en toupie là-bas dans le virage du Shell Oils Corner. L'épingle à cheveux de ce circuit d'Oulton Park, long de un peu plus de 4 km avec 17 virages, donc un tracé très challenging, très bosselé, très étroit aussi, et pas mal de défis que les pilotes vont devoir maîtriser tout au long de la soirée. Ils ont eu donc une séance d'essai libre précédemment pour pouvoir en quelque sorte dégrossir ce tracé via donc la compétition ici même. Une demi-heure de qualification déjà bien entamée, il reste en 17 minutes comme vous pouvez le voir sur votre chrono, 17 minutes pour encore essayer de sortir le tour le plus propre possible afin de se placer le plus haut sur la grille de départ de la première manche. On rappelle le principe elle-même, 2 courses de 30 minutes chacune, la première d'ici un peu plus de 20 minutes avec la grille départ qui sera déterminée au terme de cette séance qualificative. Et puis la deuxième épreuve qui suivra dans la foulée avec le top 6 inversé. Donc le pilote qui terminera en 6e position aura les honneurs de la pole pour la deuxième épreuve. Ce sera pour tout à l'heure. En tout cas, on va rester attentif à l'issue de cette séance qualificative. Comme vous pouvez le voir, pas mal de trafic sur ce tracé de Oulton Park, très très étroit, on le disait, avec des changements de direction d'une part, mais aussi d'altitude qui sont relativement incessants. Donc tout le défi évidemment pour tous ces pilotes, c'est de pouvoir profiter d'une piste suffisamment claire pour extraire le meilleur de leur mécanique. Et pour ça, les quelques pilotes britanniques engagés dans ce très très beau plateau de 23 pilotes. C'est un record pour la Winter Series et pour les compétitions mises sur pied cette saison et en 2020 par Rally Motorsport, avec un plateau qui n'a fait que grossir. Nous avions 15 concurrents lors de l'entame de la compétition Paul Ricard. Nous en avons eu 20 au Nürburgring il y a 2 semaines si vous étiez avec nous. Et nous culminons maintenant avec 23 concurrents. Donc merci encore une fois à toutes et tous, chers amis pilotes, et aussi leur entourage pour votre soutien indéfectible dans cette compétition. Mes parcours, la 3e épreuve ce soir sur Oulton Park. Et Riley Phillips qui pour l'instant occupe le haut de la hiérarchie, comme vous pouvez le voir sur la gauche de votre écran. Un meilleur chrono provisoire évidemment, il reste un peu plus d'un quart d'heure pour peut-être l'en déloger. Une 55,3, c'est 4 dixièmes plus rapide que Maxime Dinard, alors que nous sommes à bord de Jan Varemans, un des 24 pilotes donc engagés. Le numéro 25, vous le voyez sur votre écran. Quelques nouvelles têtes à vous signaler ce soir, on va y revenir d'ici quelques instants avec Chris McCarthy. Mais 23 pilotes, et un très très beau plateau pour ce qui promet d'être une nouvelle soirée très très excitante dans l'arène de la Winter Series Virtual Fun Cup. Chris, as I was saying to our dear French-speaking viewers, we have some new names tonight competing in this round 3 and a beautiful field of 23 drivers. We've never had so many drivers so far in the competition, so the interest is increasing, the interest is growing, and once again we cannot be thankful enough for the participation, the rising participation of all the drivers in this competition.
Yep, Jay Shepherd's had a bit of a meltdown in the background. There we can see he now gets going again. I'm glad he didn't do that when I was in the car with him. He's going to get going now and off for another lap. Here's Andrew Dawson, who did very well last time. But before we talk more drivers, yes, let's talk about them as a whole. We had 15 with us at the very first round of the season. That went up to 18 at the last round. Now 23 entered for this one. Some new faces, that means. Let's talk you through who those new faces are. First of them being Hugo de Wilde. We'll go and find him next. Oh, as Jay goes for a spin. Here is Hugo now. A recognisable name, I'm sure, to many of you. That's because he's raced in the Formula Renault Euro Cup Championship for the past 2 seasons. Finished 7th in 2019. Last season, when with Arden Motorsport didn't have the best of seasons, walked away with 9th place. It's yet to be announced what he's up to this year, but plans for drivers, announcements going out later than what would usually be, given most seasons aren't going to kick off until about May or potentially even June. So Hugo still has a few months to get his plans for the season locked down, but we'll try and have a little interview with him later. I'm sure Guillaume will speak to him and see if we can find out what he's going to be up to this year. We also have Patrice Fiorentino. Now let's go and find Theo, as he is on the entry list, and here he is. Guillaume, you know a little bit more, do you, about Patrice?
Yes, indeed, Chris. Patrice Fiorentino is one of the new names that we have tonight. Is driving this beautiful blue livery car with the team M3M, owned and created, of course, by Jean-Luc Dubois, our main partner. So M3M, that's fielding a lot of drivers once again for this race, tonight's race in Oulton Park. And so you know, Patrice Fiorentino is the teammate of 2 drivers that we are familiar with, Eric Stenlin and Nico Perez. Eric Stenlin, that's competing tonight with the number 282, and Nico Perez, who's quite new, actually quite recent in the competition, competing with the number 82 tonight. So those 3 are actually competing together in real life in the French Fun Cup Championship and the European Fun Cup Championship as well.
So Theo, one of the number new entries, also Benoit Phillips we have as well. Let's go and find Benoit in 13th place. There he is. So Good to have some new faces with us. Let's give you some, shall we say, usernames to actual names as well, as there is a few of those. So down in 21st place, that is Eric FC. Eric Steinlein is the name of this driver here. Also then in 17th place, we have Philippe Lorique down as Simu Philip in terms of the username. Then up in, let's have a look, 15th place, a couple of places up. That is where we find David Chatelain, who is down as David RS3. And then one to watch, I'd say, and one I want to talk about in a little bit more detail. So we'll go next to 7th place, please, Andrew. And this is Dawes. Andrew Dawson did very well. I'd say really impressive, Guillaume, wasn't he, at the last round? Andrew Dawson came in to the Nordschleife, not much practice, went out there, got a podium as well. So I'd say Andrew Dawson, if we pop on board with him now, let's let him take us round for a lap or half a lap maybe. He did very well last time out, and I say for me personally, could be the one to watch, maybe not in the first race, but particularly in that reverse grid second race, as we see someone go for a pirouette, and that's going to be someone stumbling away afterwards, I think, after that incident.
Yeah, absolutely, as you said, Chris.
That would have made me dizzy, definitely, spinning around like that. So.
How did it feel like, by the way, going around the track? Is it like as hilly as it looks like?
Yeah. I tell you what, it was, and again, a big thanks to Jay Shepherd for this. Me and Jay go back a few years. Actually, got to race with Jay in pro karts, which was really good fun. When I was running the magazine, and then he took me for an experience day up at Fun Cup. I was doing an article on the Fun Cup car as a route from karting straight into cars, which Riley Phillips has gone and proved is a possible route, and one you can be successful in straight away. So Riley has proved that over the past couple of seasons. But really good actually. I've got to say, the cars are very agile, so you do feel the bumps. You do move around in them just a little bit, but they do feel like big go-karts, as we can see. It will be proven coming uphill here. So we're going to go back up to Druids. We can see we're up by almost 7/10 of a second, so we're on a really good lap here. In fact, we're 7/10 off, but we are green. So we are green so far, so currently this is going to put us in 5th this lap as we come round. This is a corner which you've just got to throw the car in and let it do the rest. So you've got to be really brave on these cars, and I think that's why good karters get used to this really quickly, as now we go into that right-hander at the final corner at Lodge, and then back uphill. Let's see where Andrew Dawson puts himself on this lap. He's going to stay to the left, shortest run to the line, and that is going to put him in 7th still, but a good lap, 1:56.353 time gained for Andrew Dawson.
Et belle performance ici de Andrew Dawson qui, malgré tout, ne parvient pas à se glisser plus haut que la 7e place dans la hiérarchie, 7e chrono provisoire pour Andrew Dawson. On en parlait à l'instant avec Chris McCathy. Andrew Dawson, une des bonnes surprises, une des révélations de cette compétition lors de la manche précédente. Si vous étiez avec nous sur la Nordschleife du Nürburgring, eh bien Andrew s'est bien débrouillé, particulièrement lors de la manche 1 avec une 2e position et 58 points de prix également lors de la manche numéro 2. Au total, il se retrouve 16e dans la hiérarchie, mais avec déjà un total de 124 points dans son escarcelle. Donc de quoi lui valoir en tout cas une bonne dose de confiance pour la suite de la compétition, alors que ici Maxime Lénard et Hugo de Wild, le nouveau venu de retour de la compétition, qui sont côte à côte et qui se touchent légèrement d'ailleurs, et Maxime Lénard qui se fait bousculer et envoyer comme un malpropre dans les murs de plomb. Voilà quelque chose que sur lequel Maxime trouvera à redire sans aucun doute. Ce n'est encore que la qualification, il reste un peu plus de 7 minutes pour se glisser le plus haut possible à la hiérarchie en vue de la course 1. Et voilà une chouette explication déjà entre Maxime Lénard et Hugo de Wild. Ça promet pour la course 1. On disait à l'instant donc Andrew Dawson a des noms à suivre dans cette compétition après cette bonne performance du Nürburgring, aux côtés évidemment de Riley Phillips, Maxime Lénard, Hugo de Wild. Ce sont les 3 pilotes pour l'instant qui occupent le haut de la hiérarchie, comme vous pouvez le voir sur votre gauche. Pierre Stockton, 4e position pour l'instant. Dave Farrow ainsi que Jay Shepard, 7e chrono pour l'instant. Ce sont évidemment tous les noms que l'on voit toujours se battre pour les avant-postes, pour la victoire dans le cas de Maxime Minard et de Riley Phillips, les deux protagonistes de la compétition pour l'instant, puisqu'ils sont il mène pour l'instant le classement général, 262 points pour Maxime Linard, le représentant de M3M, et le représentant de nos amis britanniques, Riley Phillips, qui connaît très très bien évidemment ce circuit, comme la plupart de ses compatriotes, pour y avoir couru également dans la vraie vie, dans la Fun Cup britannique réelle, avec des succès à la clé, comme vous l'a dit Chris précédemment. Donc ces deux-là sont séparés par à peine 6 petits points après 2 épreuves, donc rien n'est joué. Et il faudra compter également sur Pierre Stockton et Tom Kemping, le pilote belge, qui s'aligne au volant de la numéro 7 ce soir. Donc pas mal de protagonistes qui peuvent jouer la gagne, en tout cas se battre aux avant-postes et faire mousser toute cette belle bagarre, en tout cas pour les lauriers dans cette Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series. Alors qu'on nous informe à l'instant, merci à Andrew Phillips, que Pierre Stockton rencontre quelques petits problèmes techniques et a dû changer le setup au niveau de son Evo 3. On espère en tout cas que Pierce va pouvoir revenir dans la hiérarchie. Pour l'instant, Pierre Stockton, 4e chrono pour l'instant. Quelques petits soucis de setup, mais on l'espère passager alors qu'il reste un peu plus de 5 minutes dans cette séance qualificative.
Riley Phillips now making his way up towards Lodge Corner. I'd like to say thanks for that, Guillaume, but I didn't understand a word of it, but I'm sure a lot of people did. Here we go in towards Lodge Corner, and Riley Phillips now making his way back downhill and up it once more. Provisional pole sitter, that's Piers Stockton ahead of him. The two racing together a lot recently, racing as teammates as well at times. Riley now coming in towards turn 1. Let's pop on board with Riley Phillips and have a look at what the view looks like as he is going to push round Piers Stockton on this lap. We'll take a look for the next couple of corners before we flick through our top 10 and do a full run through of where we stand now in towards the next corner, which is Islands. We've gone through Cascades. We could see some overtaking there. Piers Stockton ahead of us, and this is what it looks like when you're following someone round at speed through Island Bend and now towards Shell Oil's corner. Let's see them through Britain's, and then we'll have a look through the top 10. So we are on board currently with Riley Phillips, who is 6 points back from Max Leonard. In towards Britain's now we go. We'll jump out of the car and start looking our way down the top 10. So let's go and look at Max Leonard then and see how he is getting on. So here is Max Leonard. That's what his car looks like. He's currently second. Hugo de Wilde is in third, and I believe that is the car just ahead of us. So these two working together, working with Riley, of course, is Piers Stockton. Let's go and have a look at him. He's not coming quicker on this lap. So within the top 4 positions, we've got 2 pairs. We've got the Brits then against the Belgians. Fighting for pole position. Dave Farrow is in 5th place. That is why he looks like he's in the red and black. Benoit Phillips is in 6th place. He's in the predominantly black. Jay Shepard is in the UK coloured car. There he is. He's just currently making his way up towards Druid's corner now. Andrew Dawson, he's in 8th place, just 1 second off. Getting a little bit out of shape there as he now comes through Knickerbrook into the right handle. Then we have Axel Sawyers in 9th place. Oh, in the M3M car, he's had a spin with Tom Kemping, who is just going through view there. New livery for Tom. Ian Verrimans is just coming uphill now, so lots of colours on that car. Nico Perez, we'll take a look at all of them while we have time. He's in 11th. Xavier Ville will go through at speed now. He is in the orange and white. Then we have Lancelot Alstein in 13th place. There he is, a livery being used by a couple of drivers. Eric Steinlein is in the white coloured car. We've seen Tom Kemping had a spin. David Chatelain is in 16th place. Orange colours for David. Philippe Loriquet, he is going into the wall, and that's what he looks like when he spins round. Let's hope we don't see him do that again. Then we have Besson next along. That's what he looks like in the pits. We'll have a look at him on track, hopefully at some point tonight. Behind that, then we have Gerald Richard, orange and white for him. Pierre-Andre Guillaume is in 20th place. Favourite coloured car for me. Love that one from Pierre-Andre Guillaume. Christoph Schinkel is 21st place. That's what he looks like, and he's looking in good shape actually coming through there. Let's see if he can make some positions today. Steven Spittals is 22nd. Predominantly black coloured car for Stephen, and then we have Fio, one of our new entries, Patrice Fiorentino, who's going to get in the way of Jay Shepherd, I fear. Oh dear. Let's go and check in then with how the two pairs are going on in the battle for pole position. So let's go to Riley, let's go to the Brits first and see how they're doing. They're not going quicker, so what about the Belgians? How are they doing? Max and Hugo down on time as well, but one more lap to go, Guillaume.
Et encore un tour, effectivement. One more lap to go, Chris. Un tour et 1 minute, un peu plus avant la conclusion de cette séance qualificative. On est à bord de Hugo de Wilde, le numéro 339, avec cette livrée bien connue dans le monde de la VE Fun Cup au niveau belgo-francophone. Et attention, un petit accrochage là-bas, juste devant, il va falloir contrôler le trafic, ce que font Maxime Linard et Hugo de Wilde de bien belle manière. Et c'était un accrochage entre peut-être Britannique juste devant, si j'ai bien vu. Mais ils passent sans encombre, ça va leur coûter pas mal de temps. Et les voilà qui, à 40 secondes du terme de cette séance qualificative, repartent pour un ultime tour contre le chrono. On va voir si Hugo de Wilde comme Maxime, qui se suivent, qui sont roue dans roue là-bas, vous le voyez, vont pouvoir améliorer leur performance dans ces dernières secondes contre le chrono. Ils se séparaient de 2 et 4 dixièmes, vous le voyez, sur Riley Phillips pour l'instant. On les voit que les deux pilotes belges travaillent main dans la main en quelque sorte. Ils s'entraident pour essayer de profiter du meilleur tour possible, le tour le plus clair. En tout cas, Maxime Linard joue l'aspiration dans certaines portions les plus rapides de ce tracé d'Oulton Park, avec Hugo de Wilde qui tente peut-être aussi de le ralentir d'une certaine manière. Il va lui aussi ne pas regarder trop derrière lui, de voir ce qui se passe et avoir le tour le plus dégagé possible, se concentrer sur son pilotage et pourquoi pas essayer de combler cette presque demi-seconde qui le sépare de Riley Phillips. Mais quoi qu'il arrive, qu'il s'élance de la pole position ou de la deuxième ligne de la grille, c'est très intéressant. En tout cas, c'est rafraîchissant de voir Hugo de Wilde si rapidement dans le coup, après de nombreux mois absents, on va dire, de la compétition. Il nous avait réjoui de sa présence lors de l'entame du championnat européen de cette Virtual Fan Cup Series plus tôt en 2020, avec quelques victoires à la clé, avant évidemment de devoir bien répondre à des engagements en compétition non plus virtuelle, mais réelle évidemment, comme l'a dit Chris, au sein de l'European Renault Eurocup compétition. D'ailleurs, on essaiera d'en savoir plus quant au futur de Hugo de Wilde en cette saison 2021. En attendant, la séance qualificative se conclut. Riley Phillips en pole position provisoire pour l'instant, 1,55 et 3 dixièmes. 2 dixièmes de mieux sur Maxime Linard. Hugo de Wilde en 3e position. Le chrono s'est arrêté, vous l'avez vu. Riley Phillips à votre écran, le 994. A des favoris évidemment au titre dans cette Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series. On va attendre que tout le monde évidemment conclue son dernier tour avant d'avoir une hiérarchie définitive et la grille de départ en vue de la course 1. So this is quite done, Chris. Riley Phillips seems to be starting on pole position. Everybody went back to the pit. Let's wait for all the others to conclude the last lap.
We will indeed, and just like that, as quick as you like, Riley Phillips, our pole sitter, is going to join us before we speak to Riley. So our top 10, Riley Phillips, Max Leonard, Hugo de Wilde, Stockton, Phillips, Farrow, Dawson, Shepherd, Soyez Veremans, and it's Perez, Veal, Allstein, Steinling, Kempink, and that was your top 16. Riley, how are we? Pole position for you. You must be happy.
Yeah, very, very happy with that. It was a good lap, and this circuit is a great circuit in real life and on the sim.
Tell us how the comparison is doing it on virtually compared to real life.
I mean, it is different. You don't get the same forces, but the circuit is, it's the same amount of fun, and it's great to drive. I love it.
And tell us about your experiences at Oulton Park. How have you got on there when you've raced there?
I think the last 3 races at Oulton I've won in the Real Fun Cup. So yeah, I have a good track record there, and hopefully it extends to the sim world as well.
Yeah, so no pressure, basically. You have to win. And you're coming off the back of a win at the Nordschleife as well. So things look like they're picking up for you. However, you are, of course, one of the organisers of this championship. You're basically the person who has made this whole championship happen. So I'm going to swap from a driver point of view here to a more organiser's point of view. You must be really happy to have 23 drivers, including yourself, here this round.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great turnout for everyone that we've got, and it's looking really close in the midfield. So hopefully we see some great battles there. Something for people to enjoy and watch at home, while there's nothing to do. So looking forward to it.
And tell us, how much work is going into this behind the scenes?
I mean, just a couple of hours ago, I was setting up the track limit stuff. So it takes up a lot of time, and a lot of it is it takes a lot of effort to put this stuff together, to organising people's liveries that they use, and the streaming software and all of that.
And stepping away from Virtual Fun Cup completely, of course, everyone at the moment is getting their seasons ready to go, including yourself, and you've taken on board a manager, haven't you, to help you get ready for the 2021 season. Tell us about that.
Yeah, of course. So I'm looking for what to do for this year. Do we stay in Fun Cup, or do we move on to something bigger, or not do anything at all? And that's kind of the questions that I was asking myself, and I was like, well, I need someone to help me with what I can do, basically. So we've got a manager, and he's a very nice guy, and he's helping out a lot already. So yes, there should be some good things for the future.
Do you need a commentator to follow you around, or a pair, one Belgian and one British?
Are you offering, eh?
Well, we need some work as well, So anything that's going. So I'll tell you what. Send me your manager's details, and I'll get in touch. How about that?
Of course.
We'll get a tour bus with your face on, and we'll drive around.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Well, good luck for the race, Riley. It's going to be an awesome one, I'm sure, and we'll hopefully be speaking to you again in 30 minutes' time. Best of luck for the race, mate.
Cool, thank you.
Good stuff. So that's our pole sitter, Riley Phillips, leaving us then. He's going to be starting the head of the field gear.
Yes, indeed. In just a couple of seconds' time, we'll be ready to get going for race 1. Chers amis, si vous nous rejoignez maintenant, c'est le bon choix à nouveau en ce dimanche soir. Si vous n'avez rien d'autre à faire, eh bien, pourquoi ne pas vivre un grand moment de compétition virtuelle sur l'un des tracés les plus connus de Grande-Bretagne. D'ici quelques instants, moins de 2 minutes, vous le voyez sur votre écran, la grille de départ est prête. Nous sommes à Oulton Park, l'un des hauts lieux du sport automobile britannique et international. On le disait, un très très beau circuit de 4 km 3, 17 virages à dompter durant les 30 prochaines minutes. Sur la gauche de votre écran, Riley Phillips, deuxième au championnat, 6 points de retard sur celui qui l'accompagne sur la grille de départ, Maxime Lénard au volant de la numéro 50, Flower Power, sous les couleurs M3M et Belgian Very Club. Hugo de Wilde, l'ancien représentant également du Belgian Very Club dans le cadre des compétitions réelles de la Fun Cup, est de retour parmi nous. D'ici un peu plus d'une minute, on verra ce que Hugo a dans le ventre dans cette compétition. On s'en souvient que lors de la championnat européen courant 2020, si vous étiez avec nous, Hugo de Wilde nous avait fait de véritables démonstrations et plusieurs superbe victoire à la clé. Il menait le championnat jusqu'à la moitié avant de devoir s'en retourner à ses engagements en compétition réelle. Ça fait plaisir de le voir de retour évidemment, mais n'oublions pas les autres favoris, les autres challengers dans cette compétition hivernale, Pierre Stockton ainsi que Dave Farrow, Jay Shepard un peu plus loin en 8e position, Axel Soyez et le reste du peloton, 23 concurrents. C'est la grille la plus fournie depuis l'entame de la compétition. À nouveau, magnifique intérêt qui ne fait que grandir de course en course. Et d'ici quelques instants, je laisse le micro à Chris McCarthy pour vous commenter le départ et les premiers instants de cette première des 2 compétitions qui vont nous occuper ce soir. 30 minutes et puis le top 6 inversé. Chris, over to you in just a couple of seconds. Round 1 for tonight. This is halfway through the Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series.
It is. Riley Phillips to your left, Max Leonard to your right. Here come the lights. And we're away in racing, and a good start from Riley Phillips to the left-hand side of screen. He's going to lead us in towards turn number 1. To the right-hand side there, Max Leonard will tuck into second place. Third place is going to be Hugo de Wilde as they make their way now downhill towards Cascades. We're side by side for the lead here, and Max Leonard trying to challenge Riley Phillips around the outside. Can't quite make the move. Hugo de Wilde in third place. Piers Stockton is in fourth place. We're side by side for the lead. Can Max Leonard get the run as we come up towards Island Bend? He is. And all the way around the outside, we have a new leader already. Oh no! Hugo de Wilde is off. Hugo de Wilde is off. He's going to rejoin in fourth place. He's going to try and not hit Benoit Phillips there. We've got Andrew Dawson. Oh dear, and we've got an incident. Dawson is off on the inside. We've got Hugo de Wilde tumbling down the order. We've got Benoit Phillips facing the wrong way, and that means we've got 3 for the lead. We've got Soyez now. Axel Soyez is in fourth place. I think I saw a clip of Nico Perez there also going off in the distance as well. It looked like he had fallen off the track, so let's find out. We know these are our top 3. Let's try and work out what's gone on in the background. So Soyez is fourth, then it's Farrow, Dawson, de Wilde, then behind that Perez, Verimans, and then we have Eric Steinlein in fourth. Let's go back to our leaders though, because it looks very close for the race lead, and Riley Phillips is trying to sneak back through. He's to the right hand side of screen, and Riley Phillips now trying to go all the way around the outside. Can he retake the lead? No. Max Leonard, they're still going to be side by side coming up to the final corner on board with Piers Stockton. I wonder what it looks like from his perspective. He's sat in just behind this as they're still going to be side by side once again. Leonard, your leader, Guillaume.
Et voilà déjà un tour de bouclé, un début de course sur les chapeaux de roue ultra serrés comme on pouvait s'y attendre sur un circuit aussi étroit et relevé que Oulton Park. Et vous voyez déjà la bataille, nous sommes ici à bord de Piers Stockton en 3e position, le Britannique derrière son compatriote Riley Phillips qui s'est laissé chipper la première position mais qui va peut-être la reprendre déjà avec Max Leonard à ses côtés, et changement de leader déjà dès le 2e tour, mais Max Leonard qui conserve la corde et qui reprend le leadership. On est parti, chers amis. On est d'abord ici en 3e position, Piers Stockton qui va peut-être pouvoir profiter à gauche de prendre l'extérieur sur ses 2 adversaires et de déjà prendre l'avantage. Oui, ça passe pour Piers Stockton qui prend l'avantage. 2,56 en tête de ce premier round de la soirée. Attention avec Riley Phillips qui tente de lui faire l'extérieur dans l'épingle. C'est très très serré là-bas. Mini banking dans ce circuit d'Oulton Park. Est-ce que ça peut profiter à Max Leonard qui se décale sur la droite de la piste à la corde? Juste avant le passage de la chicane, un passage très très étroit, ça passe certainement pas à 2, et c'est Piers Stockton qui en profite pour reprendre son dû, alors que nous avons Axel Soyer là-bas qui nous a fait un petit tout droit dans la pelouse, mais sans gravité je pense pour Soyer, en pleine bagarre avec Dave Farrow qui en profite pour prendre la 4e position. La bagarre est lancée, le trio tête, vous l'avez à l'écran avec Piers Stockton, cette nouvelle livrée qui les traite pour la première fois sur cette terre ici à Oulton Park. On sent l'expérience évidemment qui parle tant du côté de Piers Stockton que de Riley Phillips en tête, les 2 Britanniques devant Max Leonard en 3e position. David Farrow qui va commencer à mettre la pression certainement d'ici quelques instants après s'être défait de Axel Soyer en 5e place. Superbe entame de course ici à Oulton Park. Nous en avons 2 pour ce soir, 4 minutes de cette première épreuve, 26 à tenir, et déjà la bataille qui nous tient en haleine pour les lauriers de la victoire. On est loin d'avoir tout vu évidemment. Piers Stockton, Riley Phillips, Max Leonard, c'est votre trio de tête.
Challenges for the lead in the background. I think we've just had a change. Andrew Dawson looks like he sneaked up the inside of Soyez, who just got a little bit wrong there coming through Druids, and Dawson has benefited. He's got Hugo de Wilde, the Formula Renault Eurocup racer, behind him. They're still side by side. Soyez is trying to take that place back. Oh dear, oh no, and Soyez is off. Oh, and Hugo de Wilde has been collected, and that is going to go really wrong now. Hugo de Wilde spinning round, Soyez also facing the wrong way, and Soyez struggling to get that car going again. Well, what a shame that is for Hugo de Wilde. Let's find out what happened to Andrew Dawson in all of that. Soyez is tumbling down the order. Hugo de Wilde likewise. There's 25 minutes left in this race, and the grid for race 2 is set off the finishing positions from this race, albeit with the top 6 reversed. So we're still close for the lead. It's Piers Stockton who leads from Phillips, Leonard, Farrow, Dawson, Verimans, Schinkel's done well. He's kind of climbing up the order. Then it's Perez, Steinlein, Lancelot Alstein is in 10th place. Jay Shepherd is on the move as well. He's just made his way up into 11th place. He was setting some good pace in qualifying. It looks close for the lead. It looks very close for the lead. Let's pick up our leaders. Riley Phillips now leading once again from Piers Stockton and Max Leonard. Here they come up the hill, up towards Druids now out of Knickerbrook. And it's going to be 3 for the lead. These are 3 championship leaders. We've got Leonard, the championship leader, at the back of this queue. Riley Phillips, who is second in the championship lead, in Piers Stockton, who's third in the championship in second place. 7 points between these 3, and I think you can see why. They're side by side, and Stockton, for the second time in this race, is going to hit the front as we come through the final 2 corners now.
Et les 3 leaders que vous avez à l'écran ne sont autres que les 3 leaders de la compétition à mi-parcours dans ce championnat virtuel. Riley Phillips, Piers Stockton et Maxime Linard en tête pour l'instant au classement général provisoire. Le numéro 50 qui pour l'instant est en 3e position. Il attend sagement son heure, mais attention, Riley Phillips qui est légèrement trop large là-bas et qui met les 4 roues en dehors des limites de la piste. On rappelle que 10 franchissements de limite de piste se traduisent en une pénalité de drive-through, passage par la pit lane et 10 secondes. De nombreuses secondes de perdu à la clé. On n'en est pas encore là, et pour l'instant, Linard qui tente de se frayer un chemin dans un trou de souris derrière Riley Phillips et Piers Stockton en le leader à l'image. Maximilien, nous sommes à bord du pilote belge du team M3M, leader de la compétition et qui pour l'instant adopte le rôle de l'observateur, alors que Riley Phillips se glisse à la corde du virage de Shell Owens avec Piers Stockton qui n'en demandait pas tant et qui croise la trajectoire et qui reprend son dû en première position. Superbe bagarre pour l'instant entre les 2 Britanniques et Maxime Linard qui se garde de trop s'y mêler, de peur évidemment de s'en mêler les roues. Un contact est vite arrivé évidemment sur une piste aussi étroite et si puisque Oulton Park pour l'instant, Maxime Linard qui prend peut-être l'extérieur. Il tente de tout pour le tout. Est-ce que ça pourrait passer? Un d'avalé au freinage juste à la chicane de hit stop. Mais ça ne passe pas encore pour Linard côte à côte avec Riley Phillips. Ces deux-là se connaissent bien évidemment pour se bagarrer depuis l'entame du championnat. Linard qui est à l'extérieur, va-t-il pouvoir sauter son adversaire dans la remontée? 2e position pour Maxime Linard. On disait ce trio de tête également occupe le haut du classement provisoire, alors que précédemment, vous l'avez vu évidemment, un des faits d'armes de ce début de course, c'est la malchance qui frappe Hugo de Wild et Axel Soyer. Ces deux-là ont été pris dans un accrochage dans le premier secteur du circuit. Axel Soyer qui avait mis 2 roues dans la pelouse et avait perdu le contrôle de son niveau 3, et malheureusement, Hugo de Wild n'avait rien pu faire pour éviter l'accrochage. Ces deux-là se retrouvent en queue de classement. Où était Hugo de Wild remonté en 13e position? Vous le voyez sur votre écran, accessorisé en 15e position pour l'instant. Ça va être la course à la remontée en tout cas pour ces deux-là, à des gros faits d'armes, alors que Hugo de Wild avait également été pris dans quelques échauffourées lors du premier tour, avait perdu quelques plumes jusqu'en 7e position et malheureusement, tout est à refaire de nouveau pour le jeune pilote belge. Ancien pensionnaire évidemment du championnat européen de Formule Renault Eurocup. On aura, je l'espère, l'occasion d'avoir à notre micro tout à l'heure Hugo de Wild. Mais pour l'instant, concentrons-nous si vous le voulez bien, sur la bataille de tête. 4 dixièmes entre Piers Stockton et Maxime Linard qui a pris la 2e position au détriment de Riley Phillips en 3e position. Et le trio tête n'a que 1 seconde 5 de mieux sur Dave Farrow. À votre écran, le numéro 484, c'est plus loin dans la hiérarchie. Si j'ai bien vu, non, c'était Christoph Schinkel, le numéro 404 en 7e position pour l'instant. Vous l'avez à l'écran. Bon passage là-bas. Et de retour avec les leaders, avec Maxime Linard qui est en 2e position. Riley Phillips qui lui met la pression. Moins d'1 seconde de retard pour Dave Farrow. La monture avec la livrée grise et rouge juste sur votre écran à la gauche. Là-bas, le pilote britannique qui va tenter de se rapprocher, de se mêler à la bagarre avec le trio de tête, mené toujours de main de maître par Piers Stockton à un peu moins de 10 minutes dans cette première épreuve de la soirée. Donc presque un tiers de la distance effectuée ici à Oulton Park. Thank you, Chris.
Jay Shepherd trying to get past Eric Steinley. We had a bit of a change in the leaders. Oh, and there into Knickerbrook. That's Jay Shepherd up the inside. Have some of that, son, he says as he goes through. And Jay Shepherd with his elbows out makes his way past Eric Steinley and into 9th. Right, let's go to 4th place because we've got a change. And it looks like Andrew Dawson is just about to go past Dave Farrow. That move having now been complete, but Farrow sells the dummy. Oh, and it's through Dawson. It's through him off completely and he's gone to the grass there, just avoids the gravel, good pressure tactics there from Dave Farrow. Back into fourth. Right, let's get back to the leaders. I don't know. We've got Eric Steiner dropping down the order after that off with Jay Shepherd, but let's go back to our leaders, and I'd say it looks like Max Leonard is going to try and work with Riley Phillips here, because Pierce Stockton is in danger of breaking away. No, oh dear, there was some contact there. Ooh. Leonard and Phillips. I think Leonard unintentionally gave Phillips just a little bit of a push there. However, the pair cannot let Pierce Stockton get away here. They cannot let him get away, as he now makes his way into the banking, and there's Leonard. Good driving. He's going to let Riley Phillips back into second place. So it is as you were once again, albeit with the margin for the lead now doubled.
Yeah, and it's fair to say, Chris, that while the two are battling for second place, Pierce Stockton is more than happy to extend the gap. As minutes have been passing by, you can see the gap extending to almost 2 seconds between Pierce Stockton and Riley Phillips at the moment, and Riley is trying to do the same as well on Max and Lina, but those two know each other very well, of course. But maybe could we say that Riley Phillips and Pierce Stockton might have a slight advantage of knowing the track as well in real life, as we had a chat with Riley talking about his experience.
Yeah, well, he's unbeaten here essentially, so Riley Phillips knows his way around here. So does the likes of any other of the UK Fun Cup races, one of those being Jay Shepherd. Let's check in with him, because he's one on the move. He's now in 9th. Let's jump on board with Jay Shepherd, shall we, and see how he's getting on, as he's now going to make his way. We'll ride on board with him for the final 2 corners. Lancelot Alstein, I think we'll go and check in with him next after we come out of the final corner. So this is Jay Shepherd's view. I'd say on the next lap, potentially, he could be on for a challenge for 8th place. But let's go and check with Lancelot Alstein, because he's about to make a move in towards the final corner, and there he goes, past Pierre-Andre Guillaume and Lancelot Alstein into 13th place. So good driving from him. We've had a change for 19th place. We've had David Chatelain go past Stephen Spittals, those two down the field, I believe having run into trouble a little bit earlier in the race. But the gap to Pierce Stockton is coming down. It's come down by 0.3 of a second. And Riley Phillips and Max Leonard, the chase is on. And so far, they are really on the move here to try and bring that gap down. So this is the view of your 3 leaders. Let's go and check in with Ian Verymans, because since Dawson had that little off, Ian here, the Belgian driver, Guillaume, is just starting to put the pressure on Andrew Dawson.
Indeed, a bit more than 1 second between 5th and 6th, avec Ian Verymans en effet, comme Chris McCathy vous l'a dit à l'instant, qui est en train de refaire légèrement son retard sur Andrew Dawson en 5e position, 1 seconde d'écart entre les deux pilotes, le numéro 2 et le numéro 25. La 25, vous l'avez à l'écran, magnifique livrée avec des relents quelque peu psychédéliques, et elle n'est pas la seule d'ailleurs à garnir les rangs de la Winter Series. Et battle over there.
He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again.
Oh my God, Jay Shepherd going around the inside. And unfortunately, Nico Alvarez is losing a bit of ground over there, which got pushed out of the way. Oh my God, that was close, wasn't it?
He's done it again. Jay Shepherd is absolutely ruthless this evening. I don't know what he had for his tea, but Jay Shepherd there just barging people out of the way, left, right and centre. He is on the move here. He wants to get by people, and he does not want to wait around whatsoever. So good driving here from Jay Shepherd. Let's go to Hugo de Wilde, because he's on the recovery. Let's go on board with him and see how he's getting on. In 11th place now, he's got Nico Perez ahead of him, who's just had that little off, courtesy of Jay Shepherd coming through. Now, Hugo de Wilde, a few laps ago, was pirouetting around coming out of this corner. Oh, he's going to try and go all the way around the outside. He's going to be on the grass now, and the ardent driver is going to rejoin. Good driving this from Hugo de Wilde here, Guillaume, because I'm sure, as you're about to re-explain, 6th place is pole position for race 2. So Hugo de Wilde, 6th place is Ian Verymans. Does he have time to close that down? The pace he's going, I'd say potentially, as he now makes his way into 10th.
Yeah, absolutely, and this will be interesting to see within the 15 minutes left that we have in this race. And such a shame that Hugo ran into a bit of a trouble in the opening stages, because as you say, looking at the pace he's going, he could be up there battling with Pierce, Maxime Liénard, and Riley Phillips for the win. But again, pole position is now the main focus, the main goal, and that could actually not be so much of a good news for the rivals if Hugo de Will starts from pole position for round 2, because with such a pace, he could actually fly away from the rest and extend his gap very fast. So we shall see about that. But as I was saying just briefly before, the number 24, Chris, has maybe we can have a look at him actually. Ian Alstein in 13th place. The number 24 has a very distinguished and very highly recognizable livery. Kind of some sort of a psychedelic look on it. The 24 right now on your screen, and the thing is. It's not the only one. Actually, we have the one of Hugo de Will, of course. We have the number 50 of Maxime Liénard. Those two having a very flower power kind of look that we saw actually competing in real life in these Spa 25 hours. And I gotta say that this livery as well, the number 24, has a very, very nice look, first of all. And it's fair to say that we have a lot of different and very cool looking liveries in the field ever since this competition started. So once again, good job to all the painters out there, creating those liveries and making sure that those cars look as good as they do.
Well, we're just over halfway through, so let's do our full run through. In fact, let's pick up Axel Sawyers quickly in 12th place. He's putting the pressure. Oh dear, well, good timing, because he clearly had gone for a move on Jay Shepherd, and that's how it went. Not very well. Let's do our full run through of where we are. We'll come back to this in a second. So from top to bottom, 23 drivers. You're going to see them all just now. Pierce Stockton leads. 2.5 seconds back is Max Liénard in second place, our championship leader. Gap between the top three will close at the end of this race if it stays as it is, with Riley Phillips in third place. Dave Farrow is just under 4 seconds back. He's running a solid fourth, so it could be another good round for him. However, he's going to shortly come under pressure, it seems, by Andrew Dawson. Don't count out Ian Verrimans in sixth place either. Having a really good run so far is Ian Verrimans. Good stuff for him. He's going to make some waves in the championship standings. Benoit Phillips is in seventh place. Good to see him doing so well straight off the bat. Benoit Phillips on his first round of the season. Likewise, Hugo de Wilde recovering from that earlier incident which saw him wiped out by Axel Sawyers. Schinkel is in ninth place. He was running very well earlier. He's dropped down a little bit, but still in the top 10. However, Nico Perez in 10th, trying to close him down. Jay Shepherd, he's barged two people out the way. It was about time he had his comeuppance. Something's happened to him. He is now in 11th place, albeit now 9 seconds away from the top 10. Lancelot Alstein, who we saw a lot of, is 12th, so we'll skip past him and go next to Gerald Richard in 13th place. Doing a good job so far, not far away from the top 12. Axel Sawyers on the recovery, doing pretty good so far in 14th. However, that recovery halted clearly by some sort of incident with Jay Shepherd. Someone going into the pit lane, not too sure what that was. Pierre-Andre Guillaume is 15th. Eric Steinlein trying to put him under pressure in 16th. Then behind Steinlein, who we'll see now, is Besson. There is Matisse. Xavier Ville is 18th. It appears the person that went into the pits was David Chatelain, so that's a shame. We'll find out the story there when we can. So that's going to put Stephen Spithouse into 19th place. Behind him is one of our new entries, which is Patrice Fiorentino. Then we have Philippe Loriquet, who is out of the race, likewise Tom Kemping. So hopefully we'll see those back in race 2. But back to our leaders, the gap has just come down by 0.8 of a second as Max Liénard trying to chase down Pierce Stockton.
Thank you, Chris. Voilà, vous avez eu le classement complet qui vous avait été commenté par Chris McCarthy, alors que nous avons dépassé les 20 minutes d'épreuve, 2 tiers de la distance effectuée dans cette première épreuve de la soirée sur le tracé de Oulton Park. Toujours sous le commandement de Pierce Stockton, vous l'avez à l'écran. Seconde 7 de mieux sur Maxime Liénard, le leader du classement provisoire, au général bien évidemment. Riley Phillips en 3e position, une seconde 2 de retard sur son meilleur ennemi en quelque sorte. Les 2 pilotes britanniques qui entourent le pilote belge, représentant du team M3M ici, dans le cadre de cette Winter Series. À votre écran, c'était Andrew Dawson en 4e position. Vous l'aurez sans doute remarqué, une livrée similaire à celle de Pierre Stockton, un numéro différent. Le 2 pour Andrew Dawson, le 2,56 pour Riley Phillips. En 6e position, Hugo de Wild qui remonte très fort, une seconde 8 de retard sur le top 5. Mais c'est en quelque sorte, mission accomplie pour Hugo de Wild, puisqu'après c'est ennuis, pourrais-je dire, lors du tour d'ouverture, et puis son accrochage avec Axel Soyer quelques instants plus tard, eh bien, il était retombé jusqu'en 17e position. Le voilà qui remonte 6e, et c'est important, puisque par la règle de la grille inversée, eh bien, le top 6 se retrouve la tête à l'envers pour le début de la course 2, avec Hugo de Wild qui, si rien ne bouge, eh bien, pourrait s'élancer en pole position. Il le sait évidemment, et même avec une seconde 9 de retard sur Phillips en 5e position. Et surtout, c'est important, 2 secondes 2 d'avance sur Dave Farrow et 7e. Eh bien, il est dans un fauteuil pour l'instant, le jeune pilote belge que nous aurons peut-être à notre micro tout à l'heure. Restez bien avec nous évidemment, puisque nous aurons le vainqueur, pourquoi pas Pierre Stockton ou Maxime Lénard ou alors Riley Phillips. La réponse dans un peu moins de 10 minutes. Le vainqueur, nous l'aurons à notre micro lors de nos 5 minutes de pause avant la course 2. Et puis, une fois la deuxième manche de boucler ce soir, eh bien, nous aurons l'occasion de chatter avec quelques-uns de nos concurrents ici ce soir sur le circuit de Oulton Park. Donc restez bien avec nous jusqu'au terme de la soirée. Il reste 9 minutes à couvrir. Pour l'instant, Pierre Stockton semble tenir le bon bout devant Maxime Lénard et Riley Phillips en 3e position, moins de 1 seconde entre Lénard et Phillips. À votre écran, la bataille entre Lancelot Alstein, le numéro 24, qui est bien encadré pour l'instant, avec Jay Shepherd et Axel Soyer, et Shepherd qui passe à la corde. C'était musclé de la part du pilote britannique, très bien exécuté toutefois. Jay Shepherd qui s'est glissé dans un mouchoir de poche en glissant, en surfant des 4 roues sur le vibreur, mais on ne s'en est pas laissé compter le britannique, et le voilà qui remonte en 12e position avec Alstein 13e, Axel Soyer 14e qui tente de refaire son retard après son accrochage en deuxième de début de course avec Hugo de Wild. Très belle livrée, on le disait, avec des relents psychédéliques véritablement sur cette numéro 24. Nico Pérez, on revient ici avec le pilote français en 9e position à la poursuite de Christophe Schinkel. Les deux à votre écran, avec Pérez qui met la pression. On regarde l'écart, un peu plus de 3 dixièmes, 4 dixièmes pour l'instant à l'entame de ce dernier tour. Pas le dernier tour de la course évidemment, mais le dernier tour de bouclé à ce stade par Nico Pérez. Christophe Schinkel, c'est la bataille pour la 8e position pour l'instant. Et Schinkel qui vire un peu large là-bas avec Nico Pérez qui parvient à se glisser à sa hauteur. Est-ce que ça va pouvoir passer peut-être pour Nico Pérez à l'approche de l'épingle à cheveux là-bas? Et oui, changement de position avec Nico Pérez qui prend le 8e rang devant Christophe Schinkel.
Good driving from Nico Perez there, up into 8th place now, but is getting close between our 3 leaders. 7 minutes and 20 seconds now on the clock in this first of 2 races, round 3 of the Virtual Fun Cup Series. We're going to jump on board with 3-time winner around this circuit, not virtually, but Riley Phillips, he's done it in real life, so virtually he'd like to do the same. Our pole sitter as well for this race. These 3 are your championship leaders. 262 points for Leonard in second there. Riley Phillips then has 256, who we are on board with. Stockton has 255. So far Stockton doing a very good job championship-wise here. He'll jump ahead of Riley Phillips. He'll go to second, and he'll also close that gap to Leonard. Riley Phillips will want to get ahead of Leonard. I don't think he'll be too bothered about beating Stockton. It's more Leonard that he'll want to get past. So I wouldn't suspect that he'll be too fussed about working with Leonard here. I imagine if he catches him, he'll just want to go past ASAP. Now let's go back to Ian Verrimans, because he looks like he's about to make a move, and indeed he is, into Lodge Corner down the inside. Ian Verrimans takes 9th place away from Christoph Schinkel. He's had an up and down race so far, has Ian Verrimans, but he's just got himself into the top 10. Xavier Ville down in 17th, looks like he's about to make a place on Pierre-Andre Guillaume, and indeed he is, into Lodge Corner. Another move, this time by Xavier Ville. He goes down the inside and goes past Pierre-Andre Guillaume. Christoph Schinkel still trying to put that pressure on Ian Verrimans, but Riley now right behind Max Leonard. Let's jump on board with Riley Phillips. What is his plan going to be? I say this is going to be a real test up the hilltop. Is he going to push, or is he going to go to the outside? That's going to tell us what Riley Phillips' plan is, and as we suspected, it's going to be that he wants to go past, but he's been pushed there. That was not intentional by Max Leonard, just movement under braking, and Riley Phillips now has that gap to make up once more. So Max Leonard some breathing space now, and he can focus on trying to close that gap to Pierce Stockton.
Yeah, that was tight, wasn't it? Belle attaque, mais ce n'est pas passé malheureusement pour Riley Phillips. Tout est à refaire pour le pilote britannique. 9 dixièmes, 1 seconde, vous le voyez d'écart sur Max Leonard en deuxième position. Max qui la joue défensif pour l'instant, hein, mais c'est de bonne guerre évidemment pour celui qui mène le classement général de cette Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series. Et il entend défendre son dû jusqu'au bout. Il reste un peu moins de 5 minutes à tenir jusqu'au drapeau d'Ami dans cette première épreuve. Toujours mené de manomètre par Pierce Stockton, 1 seconde 5, 1 seconde 6 de mieux sur Maxime Lénard. Pour l'instant, rien n'est joué entre ce trio-là. Il est certain que Maxime Lénard a une double tâche sur les épaules. D'une part, il a tenté de réduire cet écart autant que possible sur Pierce Stockton, ne pas faire de faute, mais tout en défendant sa position face à Riley Phillips, qui de faute n'en commet que très très peu depuis le début de la compétition, et particulièrement sur un circuit qu'il connaît comme sa poche, on le disait, victorieux dans la compétition réelle ces dernières saisons sur ce tracé d'Oulton Park dans le cadre de la Fun Cup britannique. En tout cas, l'écart est retombé à 7 dixièmes, on le voit, Riley Phillips n'entend rien lâcher jusqu'au drapeau à damier, et Maxime Lénard va bientôt avoir du pain sur la planche à fermer tous les écarts possibles. Donc voilà, dans l'épingle à cheveux là-bas, au bas du tracé de l'Oulton Park, très très vallonné, très très étroit aussi ce circuit d'Oulton Park. Des chicanes de Britons qui ne sont pas sans rappeler l'enchaînement célèbre de Maggots, Beckett et Chapel sur le circuit de Silverstone. Nous sommes à bord de Riley Phillips qui va tenter à nouveau d'attaquer Maxime Lénard. On va jumper du côté du pilote belge, Maxime Lénard qui va tenter de conserver cette deuxième place jusqu'au bout, mais il la joue défensive, il a bien raison évidemment, mais Riley Phillips est sur un autre rythme meilleur pour l'instant que son adversaire. Les deux sont très très proches, 2 petits dixièmes seulement, et Riley Phillips de retour sur la ligne droite des stands, avec ce tour qui va être bouclé d'ici quelques instants. Riley Phillips qui tente de croiser la trajectoire, de prendre l'avantage par l'intérieur, c'est la chose à faire évidemment. Maxime Lénard qui défend autant que faire se peut, et qui écarte légèrement sa trajectoire. Il conserve la deuxième place pour l'instant, mais ce n'est que partie remise évidemment pour Riley Phillips qui va tenter de la jouer finaude par l'extérieur, peut-être en tout cas de croiser cette trajectoire à la corde en sortie de courbe. Une belle tactique évidemment, et ça pourrait bien réussir à nouveau pour Riley Phillips sur la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée. Les voilà qui sont côte à côte, la bataille pour la deuxième place à moins de 3 minutes du terme de cette épreuve. Riley qui se positionne habilement à la corde et qui rend l'avantage sur Maxime Lénard. Riley Phillips en deuxième position, à Maxime Lénard maintenant de jouer s'il veut reprendre cette deuxième place, sachant évidemment que la première semble hors d'atteinte pour l'un comme pour l'autre. 2 secondes 6 de retard entre Riley Phillips et Pierce Stockton qui pour l'instant creuse l'écart inexorablement et semble se diriger vers sa deuxième victoire de la compétition.
This looking now back from Riley Phillips. We've got Max Leonard behind us, so it was clear Leonard had gone defensive and Riley Phillips wanted to get by then. So Max Leonard wanted that second, felt he didn't have the pace, I think, to chase Pierce Stockton down in the amount of time he had left. So he went defensive, Riley Phillips went past. It was as simple as that. These two are your 2 championship leaders, but Pierce Stockton is going to close the gap down to the pair of them if the results stay as they are at the end of this race. Now, points wise, you're going to get 70 for a win, 65 for second, and 60 for third place. So this is going to be really good news this for Pierce Stockton. He's going to close the gap down to Max Leonard. He could even jump ahead of Max Leonard in the championship here as they now make their way round the left-hander and in towards the right-hander. And good driving from Riley Phillips to get himself up into second place. We'll come back to points. We'll do the maths in the break, I think, between races 1 and 2 and find out exactly where we are. In the meantime, let's quickly check in with our 4th place battle, because it indeed is now a battle that we have going on. Benoit Phillips has been slowly closing this gap down, Guillaume. He's taken him a few laps to do it, but He's gone about his business quietly, Benoit Phillips. We haven't spoken about him a huge amount, but he is right there now on his debut this season, and he is putting pressure on podium finisher from last time, Andrew Dawson, as we go on to what will be the final lap of this race now.
Yeah, absolutely. Good driving from Benoit Phillips for his first appearance, as you said, and a lot of work remaining to do for Andrew Dawson. He's going to have to be defending in this last lap, but there's not a lot of time remaining either for Benoit Phillips to get past, but he's going to try that for sure, as we're counting down to 0 seconds and the conclusion of this first race, with Pierre Stockton looking on his way for a second victory in the Witten Series so far. But at the moment, let's keep the focus on those two. Superbe bataille là-bas pour la 5e position, la 4e place pardon, entre Andrew Dawson et Benoit Phillips qui occupe la 5e place sous les couleurs du team M3M. Et très très belle prestation de la part de Benoit Phillips pour sa première apparition dans le cadre de la Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series, avec très belle performance également de la part de Andrew Dawson, qui nous a habitués évidemment à apparaître aux avant-postes avec un podium lors de la manche junior précédente. On va revenir en tête avec la bagarre pour la première place qui semble acquise quoi qu'il arrive pour Pierre Stockton, Riley Phillips en 2e position et Maxime Linard en 3e place, alors qu'on se dirige d'ici quelques instants vers le drapeau damier et la conclusion de cette première épreuve. 5 petites minutes de pause, et puis le temps d'avoir l'interview sans doute de Pierre Stockton pour nous parler de sa performance sur cette première course, et puis nous serons prêts pour la 2e épreuve déjà. Over to you, Chris. Conclusion with Pierre Stockton, winner of this round 1.
Yeah, Pierre Stockton across the line, and that's going to be race 1 victory at round 3 for Pierre Stockton. Brilliant performance, but we're side by side here for 4th place. Dawson on the inside. He's got a little bit of a poor exit though, so drag race now to the line, and Benoit Phillips could just about sneak this here with Dawson getting a bit out of shape, and indeed he does. So good driving from Benoit Phillips round the outside. So your top 3, it was Stockton, from Phillips, from Leonard, and Benoit Phillips. Dawson making his feelings about that result shown there as he finishes 5th. A good recovery from Hugo de Wilde to come back from that spin, and that 6th place means he will start race 2 from pole position. So a very good recovery drive from Hugo de Wilde. Dave Farrow finishes 7th, Nico Perez 8th, Ian Berryman's 9th, and it's Schinkel in 10th, Jay Shepard 11th, Alstein, Sawyers, Richard. Eric Steinley now crosses the line in 15th, and it's Guillaume. Veal will be 17th, Besson 18th, Stephen Spittau's 19th. Then behind that, we have Patrice Fiorentino, David Chatelain 21st, Philip Loriquet and Tom Kemping are non-finishers, sadly. So we will ask Pierre Stockton to join us in the booth, and we'll have a little chat with him. Whilst I'm doing that, Guillaume, I might ask if you can work out the point situation of where we are at after that race, so we can give an update in between races and we know exactly where we are. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask Andrew, our director, to get Pierre Stockton up into the commentary booth, and we'll have a chat with him about how it feels for him. And here he is. So Piers, race 1 victory for you there, mate. How does that feel?
Good, really good. I think it was a lot harder than it needed to be, but yeah, it was really good.
Good fun at the start, right? It was a really close battle between the three of you, the 3 fighting for the title in this as well. You coming into this 3rd, that's an even better result for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think a lot of the time we were 3 wide in some pretty sketchy places, so I think going into Ireland 3 wide is madness.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Well, when it's virtually, I think you can take a lot more risk, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And what's your experience, knowledge of Oulton Park, either real or virtual?
So this is the only race circuit that I've actually driven in real life, and I've driven Fun Cup 221, which is the car that I spanned on. So yeah, I've driven the track in real life, which is quite nice.
So this, probably looking at the calendar, this was probably the round you were looking forward to the most, I'd take it?
Yeah, I think so. I really like Oulton, but you know, it suits quite a lot of people because it's tight, it's twisty, it's technical, the draft is important, so yeah, it's a good track.
And now, how do you take on this second race? I guess you got that win in the bag. The pressure's a little bit off now. We've got Ugo, who recovered to come from the back of the field to take pole. So it's going to be a danger for him to potentially try and break away. Are you going to try and play the long game in this race? How are you tackling it?
I don't really know. We'll see what happens in front of me, and we'll
play it by ear, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of those. But another win for you this season. You must be chuffed.
Yeah, it's great. Another win is always brilliant. So maximum points onto the next race.
Good stuff. Best of luck, mate. We'll leave you to go and get yourself ready for the next one. Piers Stockton leaving the booth. Thanks to him. I'm sure we'll chat to you later on. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So Piers is off. We're going to get now set for the second race. Guillaume, have you done your maths, mate? Where are we in terms of points? We did have 262 for Max Leonard coming into this race, 256 for Riley, 255 for Piers. I imagine there's going to be some changes there now.
Yeah, there's been some changes indeed. I'm gonna be honest. Math is not my strongest skills, but when it comes to motor racing and those kind of rankings, I try to do my best.
I know this from working with you. That is not the best. So.
Is it? Oh, we'll have to.
FIA karting. That's all I'm going to say. We didn't do the best, but we got there.
We went down a lot of numbers back in the day, that's for sure. But that's part of the job, isn't it? In more seriousness, actually, we have Piers Stockton as provisional leader as it stands with 325 points. So thanks to his second win of the championship, now Piers is ahead, but for just 3 points on Maxime Leonard. And Maxime now has 322 points, with Riley just behind at 321. So we basically have 4 points between the three of them, with Piers now leading the way after his second win of the championship. So still very, very tight indeed. But Hugo de Wilde might be the one to keep an eye on, as he's going to have a lot of work to do to keep everyone behind him. But he could be definitely a strong player in this one.
Well, that is very close indeed, isn't it? So 4 points between our top three. 70 for a win, 65 for second, 60. Then it works down in twos. So 58, 56, 54, 52, 50. And that goes down to your top 10. So very close indeed. However, as we said, we've got a spanner in the works. We've got Hugo de Wilde on his first round of the season coming in as a new entry. He's on pole position, and that was no fluke, the recovery that he did there. So let's see how he gets on. Then it is Dawson next along. Then we have Benoit Phillips, who did very well. Then it's going to be Leonard, Phillips, and Stockton. We're sort of working with a different camera view here. That looks pretty nice. It's like we got a drone in the sky, hasn't it? It was
absolutely.
Andrew's. I think Andrew's enjoying this a little bit too much now.
Quite a lot of people watching.
There we go. See, this is stuff we can't do in real life, but we can do it virtually. We can do it, and I believe the fans to the right are enjoying every second of it.
And I think we need to be specific about the fans, and mention the fact that everybody is wearing a mask at all time and keeping social distancing as well everywhere on the track. We take this thing seriously as well in here.
And we have to the left of your screen. We have a marshal at every garage, just waiting. A guy with a lollipop waiting, just in case the whole race.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're here for. That's what they get paid for.
Good stuff. While we're talking about this season, Guillaume, we have a little bit of time to kill. What about yourself? What are you going to be up to this season? Well, before we go into full Fun Cup mode once again.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still setting up everything, still preparing, what's to come, and I can confirm already that if everything goes according to plan, I'll be commentating on both the Belgian and French championship in karting. So this will be both national championships, with some races and events coming already in February and March, and then some more afterwards. But we're still talking about plans and setting up calendars. But hopefully I'll be much involved in karting once again this season, as well as in motorsport on a more general way, as I'm currently busy as well, working as a full-time journalist for some media outlets in the French-speaking world. So this keeps me quite busy as well. Hopefully I'll be able to go to as many races as possible, considering the situation we are in. So yeah, we'll stay in touch about that. But both on the karting and the motorsport sides, I'll try to be as busy as possible, as always.
Good stuff. Now we must thank our new partners, Sports Alive. We are welcoming them on board as new partners to the series. So a big thanks to the guys at Sports Alive. You're going to hear more and more about that as we go through the next 3 rounds of the championship. The next round will be on the 7th of February from the Circuit de Lebanon. We'll talk a little bit more about that in this race, but we thank Sports Alive for their involvement in this fantastic series. And coming up, another brilliant race. 30 minutes on the clock, same points, 4 points between the top 3 in the championship. Hugo de Wilde on pole position. Guillaume, over to you for the race start.
Thank you, Chris. Les derniers instants, chers amis, les secondes qui s'égrènent. Et vous l'avez à l'image sur la gauche, Hugo de Wilde volant la numéro 339 en pole position dans ce deuxième round à Oulton Park. Les feux s'éteignent, on est parti. Hugo de Wilde, Andrew Dawson juste derrière lui qui va prendre l'aspiration à l'entame des premiers virages. Benoît Phillips, la révélation de la première épreuve avec cette très très belle 3e position. Maxime 4e. Puis nous avons ensuite Riley Phillips qui va tenter de se frayer un chemin également. On est parti pour 30 minutes d'excitation sur ce superbe circuit d'Oulton Park. Hugo de Wilde, comme on le pressentait, qui déjà tente de creuser l'écart sur un peloton très très survitaminé là-bas, avec Maxime qui tente de prendre l'avantage. Juste sur Andrew Dawson, Riley Phillips à votre écran, Pierre Stockton juste derrière lui en 6e position. C'est très très serré dans ses premiers instants. Hugo de Wilde qui prend l'avantage. Benoît Phillips qui se fraye un chemin en 2e position. Va-t-il pouvoir suivre le rythme de son compatriote avec les Britanniques qui se battent à couteau tiré juste derrière, avec Andrew Dawson qui prend la 3e place au détriment de Maxime Ménard. Les deux sont côte à côte. Derrière Riley Phillips qui va pouvoir nous faire le jeune pilote britannique. Deuxième au championnat, dans la chicane très très serrée là-bas, après la remontée de l'épingle à cheveux. On vous disait, Oulton Park est un circuit qui ne laisse que très peu de place aux erreurs et déjà des accrochages là-bas dans le reste du peloton. Avec un tête à queue, c'était Christophe Schinkel là-bas malheureusement qui est parti à contresens de la piste. Et une autre grosse sortie là-bas de numéro 424, c'est Mathis Pesson malheureusement qui se retrouve à contre-courant, à contresens devrais-je dire, de la piste, mais qui heureusement ne provoque pas d'autres carnages dans ce premier tour très très agité de ce deuxième round. On revient en tête de l'épreuve. Hugo de Wilde a une demi-seconde d'avance sur Benoît Phillips en 2e position, 3e place, Maxime Lénard 4e place, Andrew Dawson 5e à votre écran, Riley Phillips devant Pierre Stockton. On est parti déjà sur les chapeaux de roue et Hugo de Wilde qui va tenter évidemment de se refaire une santé après une première course bien entravée par pas mal de petits pépins, notamment cet accrochage avec Axel Soyer. Malgré tout, une belle remontée à la clé qui lui avait eu la pole position et de mener cette deuxième épreuve.
Across the line we go, and it is Benoit Phillips then who is in 2nd place. That's the driver we're following. Hugo de Wilde currently leading the way in out front. That's where you are when you lead the way, funnily enough, 1st place. Max Leonard is in 3rd. Let's go to the 4th place battle though, because Riley Phillips versus Andrew Dawson is the one that's keeping me most entertained so far. It's going to be interesting to see the approach now of Riley Phillips. Here we go on board with Andrew Dawson. Championship-wise, he is splitting 2 drivers who are fighting for the title. Piers Stockton is in 6th place. He is your new leader of the championship coming into this race. So far, so good for Hugo de Wilde. He is trying to break away up front. We've got 3 Belgians, 1, 2 and 3, and then 3 Brits, 4, 5 and 6. So good battle between both Belgium and Britain, and that seems to be the story of the Virtual Fun Cup European Championship so far this season, as they now come up hilltop and make their way down towards the chicane. Riley Phillips to the inside here is going to go down the inside of Andrew Dawson, and that is Riley Phillips up into 4th place. Behind Piers Stockton has ran wide. He's now going to rejoin once again, and Piers Stockton 6th place now with a little bit of work to do as we come up Clay Hill and up towards Druids.
Hugo de Wilde, une demi-seconde d'avance sur Benoît Phillips et Maxime Lénard. On le disait, un trio de pilotes belges en tête de la hiérarchie dans cette deuxième épreuve, suivi par les pilotes britanniques, les locaux, évidemment, les plus expérimentés en théorie sur ce tracé d'Oulton Park. Riley Phillips en 4e position, devant Andrew Dawson, Pierre Stockton, on l'a vu à l'instant, qui a commis une petite erreur au passage de la chicane en élargissant sa trajectoire, 2 roues légèrement dans l'herbe, pas de quoi en faire un drame évidemment, mais quelques dixièmes de secondes perdues dans l'aventure. 1 seconde 7 de retard sur Andrew Dawson en 5e position, et voilà qui repasse juste devant nous en quelque sorte sur la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée. Je dis devant nous puisque en temps réel, eh bien, la cabine de commentateur se trouve généralement au niveau de la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée dans le bâtiment principal. On va garder ça à l'esprit, évidemment. Jay Shepard, 7e devant Varemans en 8e position. Eric Stelling occupe le 9e rang devant Dave Farrow qui ferme le top 10, alors que nous allons bientôt compléter les 5 premières minutes dans cette deuxième épreuve de la soirée. Merci encore une fois à toutes et tous d'être présents pour suivre le 3e round, le mi-parcours de ce championnat virtuel, la Virtual Fun Cup Elite Series, avec, on en parlait il y a quelques instants, un nouveau partenaire qui nous fait la joie de nous rejoindre jusqu'au terme de la compétition, Sports Alive évidemment, dont on remercie le soutien et la participation pour le reste de la compétition, tout autant que M3M et toute l'équipe de Jean-Luc Dubois, dont la présence évidemment sans cesse renouvelée de course en course, eh bien, non seulement ajoute en quantité mais aussi en qualité dans ce très très beau plateau qui n'a jamais été aussi étoffé, avec 23 concurrents au départ de cette double confrontation de Oulton Park. Gardons évidemment cette tendance à la hausse et on vous attend encore, on espère, aussi nombreux, voire davantage, pour la prochaine manche qui retournera sur les terres françaises de la Fun Cup sur le circuit du Lédénon. Et nous avons une petite faute malheureusement de pilotage là-bas avec l'un des nouveaux venus, le numéro 182 là-bas qui navigue. J'essaie de rechercher, voilà, Patrice Fiorentino en 20e position, et malheureusement qui s'est offert une petite escapade en dehors de la piste et qui va perdre sans doute davantage de place dans l'aventure. Il est devant Mathis Besson en 21e position, avec 2 pilotes malheureusement qui ne répondent plus présents dans cette épreuve. Axel Soyer et juste derrière, en 23e position, le numéro 372 malheureusement qui ne répond pas présent, Philippe Loriquet du team M3M également, qui ne verront pas le bout pour l'instant de cette épreuve, peut-être en problème de setup et de simu. On espère ils pourront reprendre leur place dans la ronde avant le terme de cette épreuve, toujours menée par Hugo De Wilde, 6/10 entre De Wilde et Benoît Phillips, avec Max Minard très très proche pour l'instant de son compatriote. La bagarre pour la première place s'est relancée. De Wilde va avoir fort à faire pour se protéger du retour de Benoît Phillips et de Max Minard. Ça nous promet encore de très très belles minutes tout au long de cette deuxième épreuve. Restez bien avec nous. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Guillaume. Through Ireland, we're just on board here with Max Leonard, who's trying to get his way down the inside of Benoit Phillips. Benoit Phillips opening the door there for Max Leonard, who now sits second in the championship race, and that a good position gained for him, considering championship leader Pierce Stockton is all the way down in 6th, being up into 2nd place. That would score Max Leonard 65 points, and Pierce Stockton would score just 54 points. So this is really good stuff here from Leonard. However, we do have 23 minutes left to go in this race. We've got Riley Phillips in 4th, trying to hunt the top 3 down. Dawson is 5th, Stockton 6th, then Jay Shepard is in 7th place. There he is, with a little bit of space behind him to Ian Berrymans, who is in 8th place. 9th place is Farrow, and David Chatelain, who will pick up next, has just gone into 10th place ahead of Eric Steinlein. Let's look at Tom Kemping, because we didn't get to see much of him in the first race. I'd say this a little bit of a surprise here, Guillaume, because Tom has done so well this season with literally no experience. I mean, the first round he did about 2 hours of practice, I think, and got some really good results, and then had a pretty good outing last time as well in similar conditions, but it's just not working for him at this round.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite disappointing indeed results so far for Tom Kemping, despite the brand new livery, looking very good indeed.
It looks good.
Yeah,
you just
absolutely.
don't get to see it much, that's all. I must say that you do get a drop round, so that might help Tom Kemping in this situation.
Yeah, definitely, and that's quite surprising considering that he actually accumulated, strong results, 5th and 6th place throughout the first 2 rounds. So, once again, one track from one track from the other. Maybe sometimes you're less familiar with the layouts, and or you don't get to practice as much as you would like to. before any of the races. So that might be one of the explanations, as well as some contacts maybe, or some mistakes along the way from Tom Kemping, as well as from the drivers. As once again we said, this track of Oulton Park is quite a bit like we had at the Nürburgring in terms of the let's say the width of the track. This is a very narrow and very technical layout, and considering the amount of corners that we had at Nürburgring, we have a less, of course, a big amount here. But once again, you have to be careful where you put your wheels, especially going two side by side with under the driver and under the car into the chicane or into the hairpins. So, and here comes Riley Phillips is going to try to do that as well around the inside. Beautifully made from Riley Phillips. Going around the inside of Benoit Phillips. This is a change for third place, and that might be the start of recovery for Riley Phillips, who actually lost a bit of time in the opening stages in this first 10 minutes of races. But now, let's see what he's going to be able to do, Chris, considering that he has Benoit Phillips behind him, and now the objective is Hugo de Wilde and Maxime Lienard.
Yep, across the line, and let's jump on board with Riley Phillips, shall we, and have a look at the view, what he has ahead of him. So this is his task. There's the top two, 20 minutes to chase the gap, and I'd say he should be able to do this. It's just a matter of when now, because eventually de Wilde and Lienard have to battle. The only problem for Phillips is, if you look at the top of your screen, there's a car in his mirror. That's Benoit Phillips, who he's just gone past. But one thing Benoit Phillips has shown is that he's not in any rush to fight for positions. He's happy to just be in the fight rather than actually start fighting for positions. But let's pick up the top two. Max Lienard, I think his patience now wearing a little bit thin here. He's just starting to up the ante here as he's now trying to get past Hugo de Wilde. Into Britons they come, and now up Hilltop. And with Lienard noticing Phillips is catching him, there we can see this a great angle here, our version of a helicopter shot. We can see Phillips is going to look to the outside. Yeah, the drone. No sound from it, unfortunately, but our voices will have to do the work there. But Hugo de Wilde in all this is just getting you can see that's about 3 car lengths, and now on Lienard. So Phillips is going to want to get by, and he's going to want to do it very quickly as they come past Water Tower now and in towards Druids Corner. I'd say Riley Phillips is going to be on the move. What does Hugo de Wilde do, though, Guillaume? Does he defend? Does he let them go through? We'll find out very shortly what his move's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And fascinating piece of racing between those four, and this will keep us certainly on the edge of the seat until the checkered flag. But right now, I think that Hugo is going to have a lot to do, that's for sure, defending first and try to avoid any mistake. But all the others have, of course, the calculations to do, and they're here for the championship as well. While Hugo is like some sort of a wild card, considering he didn't compete in the first 2 rounds. Si vous nous rejoignez pour l'instant, chers amis, la bagarre fait rage pour la première place de cette deuxième épreuve de la soirée à Oulton Park, et le leader n'est autre que le 339 Flower Power, une livrée que vous avez vue à l'œuvre dans le cadre du championnat européen de la Fun Cup et des 25 heures de Francorchamps il y a quelques années, notamment en 2016 et 2017. Elle est de retour avec Hugo de Wilde à son volant, notre représentant belge dans le cadre du championnat européen de Formule Renault. Le voilà qui mène le débat avec une grosse bagarre là-bas pour la deuxième place. Maxime Lienard et Riley Phillips. Phillips qui prend l'avantage sur son opposant belge. Deuxième position pour Riley Phillips. Superbement exécuté dans l'épingle à cheveux du circuit d'Oulton Park. Et débarrassé en quelque sorte de Maxime Lienard. Sa nouvelle proie, c'est l'homme Hugo de Wilde. Mais la bataille n'est pas uniquement entre ces deux-là. 4 concurrents, 4 noms différents, 4 voitures pour les lauriers dans cette deuxième épreuve. Hugo de Wilde qui va tout faire pour tenter de voir les lauriers, le drapeau à damier en premier lieu. Ce sera très très difficile, évidemment, plus facile à dire qu'à faire, parce que Riley Phillips connaît ce circuit comme sa poche. Et il met la pression pour l'instant sur le jeune pilote belge. Maxime Lienard, 3e, qui va tenter également de garder Benoit Phillips juste derrière lui. Benoit Phillips, révélation de la première épreuve avec la 4e place à l'arrivée pour celui qui court sur les couleurs du team M3M. Et attention, une première tentative de la part de Riley Phillips, une tentative pas encore forcément réussie, mais sans doute une intimidation sur Hugo de Wilde, qui zigzague légèrement, qui ferme la porte à l'approche du virage. Ce sera très très serré avec Riley qui tente de prendre l'extérieur, mais il nous a déjà fait le coup précédemment sur la remontée vers la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée. Riley qui va profiter de l'aspiration. et peut-être pouvoir prendre l'avantage au premier freinage. Gare à ce que Maxime Lénard va pouvoir faire et peut-être profiter du duel entre les deux pour se glisser devant. Ça ne se passe pas encore, mais cette fois-là se tient dans un mouchoir de poche. On met les deux roues à l'extérieur, on appuie toute la voiture sur l'extérieur du virage et du vibreur. Avec Hugo De Wilde qui se met toujours en tête, mais pour combien de temps? Gare à Maxime Lénard qui prend la corde, qui profite de l'extérieur avec Riley Phillips à l'extérieur. Ils sont côte à côte là-bas. Ça va être très très serré, ça va se jouer certainement au freinage et épingle. Gare à ce qui peut se passer, gare à ne pas mettre les roues évidemment. Donc la moindre touchette peut s'avérer fatale ici. Et quand on sait ce qui s'est passé avec Hugo et Axel Soyer au premier round, et une touchette là-bas, Hugo De Wilde qui est légèrement tassé à l'extérieur du virage. Et gare à ce que peut faire Benoît Phillips qui se passe à l'accord. Magnifique manœuvre de la part de Benoît Phillips qui a profité du léger tassement au freinage et l'épingle pour prendre la deuxième position. Chris.
Yeah, well, Riley Phillips, bit of a mistake from him there. He went into the back of the leader, Hugo De Wilde. He had to jump on the brakes to try and let Hugo De Wilde back through. Max Leonard was having to do the same thing. And Benoit Phillips noticed the gap on the inside and goes from fourth to second just like that. And Phillips from second down to fourth. So things changing very quickly here. But fantastic racing in the Virtual Fun Cup European Winter Series. Hope you're enjoying it so far. If you're with us for the first time, welcome to Virtual Fun Cup Racing live here from Oulton Park, albeit virtually, as Riley Phillips now goes down the inside of Max Leonard. In terms of your championship, 4 points separate the top three, two of those being the drivers we're following in this battle here as Phillips goes down the inside of Leonard, and that is a change between two championship contenders. That move puts Phillips into second in the title race, and that will drop Leonard down to third in the title race. We still have to work out what happens with Piers Stockton. Andrew Dawson a lap ago binned it coming out of Druid's corner. He's now gone down to seventh. As to the right we have someone rejoining there, that's Axel Soyez, but that's put Piers Stockton up into fifth and Jay Shepherd up into sixth. It's hard to leave the leaders, isn't it? We do usually do a full run through. Here we can see Dawson has a chance here to get past Jay Shepherd. Shall we try and do it? I think we'll leave it a couple more minutes before we try and do any kind of run through, because I think we need to go back to our top four. It's hard to leave them. Apologies if you're here to cheer on anyone other than these top four. But Guillaume, it's hard to leave a battle when it's this close, isn't it? Any one of these four, you'd have to say, could walk away from this the winner. And surprise package so far for me has been Benoit Phillips. He's taken it. I think that move going from fourth to second was the first time we really saw him really go for it. You know, he's taken positions as and when he's been able to, but that's the first time we've seen real good opportunistic driving from him, and he's now up into second, and it's clear his confidence is growing with every lap.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this maybe will remain as the move of the race, basically. And as he went down the hairpin, it was beautifully made. Actually, a good opportunity taken there from Benoit Phillips. It was really improving, lap by lap, as you said, getting in pace and confidence. And the look at the way he's driving and the pace he's putting together, looking very mature already, as is just his first appearance in the championship. So this will be very tight until the end, and there he goes. Riley Phillips going around the inside of Benoit Phillips, was being pushed away from the track, and unfortunately that might play well for Maxime Lénard. Maxime Lénard going around the outside as well, up to P3. And unfortunately, as we were talking about, in very nice terms of Benoit Phillips about the job he was doing so far, he just went from second to fourth. After making some mistake over there, but he's still in the mix, he's still in the pace, and those four might be the ones to keep an eye on, definitely for the battle for victory. But in which order, Chris? That's a big question, isn't it? But right now, the one that might have less to worry than the others is Hugo De Wilde, as he's still keeping the pace in first place. But right now, Riley Phillips in second is trying to keep up the pace as well and decrease the gap, but he has to defend as well very much with Maxime Lénard behind him as well, who has himself to defend against Benoit Phillips. So there is some sort of a three-way battle behind Hugo De Wilde, who's trying to increase the gap at the same time, but easier said than done, as we say.
out of Britain's now uphill top. We can see Riley Phillips is getting closer here to Hugo de Wilde. Gap is now half a second. Max Leonard in third place, Benoit Phillips in fourth. Then it's 3.5 seconds back to Pierce Stockton, who is in fifth. He's just going to be hoping that these guys start to battle away with each other. Hugo de Wilde is dealing with this pressure very well, but the last time Riley Phillips was in second, he got a little bit got his braking a little bit wrong into Shell Oils, pushed Hugo de Wilde wide, slowed down to let him back through immediately. This is going to be his second go now at going for this move as they go underneath the bridge and now up towards Lodge Corner. This is going to be Riley Phillips' second chance, so let's see what he can do. He's got 10 minutes to make this move, and I'd say this time he's going to be just a little bit patient with how he goes on. Last time it was just a misjudgment that saw him go into the back of Hugo de Wilde. Is he going to want to sit behind him? Is he going to want to make the move straight away? I think the answer to that question will be revealed very shortly, but Max Leonard running wide there. Benoit Phillips is going to try and sneak through as they make their way now downhill and into Cascades, where side by side, Phillips trying to go around the outside of Leonard, sensibly gets out of that one as we see Phillips right with Hugo de Wilde.
Et chers amis, nous entrons dans les 10 dernières minutes, le dernier tiers de cette deuxième épreuve de la soirée à Oulton Park, et rien n'est encore joué. Si vous nous rejoignez maintenant, eh bien nous avons deux batailles dans la même image. Celle pour la première place oppose, vous le voyez, Riley Phillips qui va tenter de prendre l'avantage sur Hugo de Wilde pour la première fois dans cette épreuve de Wilde qui était poussé à l'extérieur de l'épingle, avec Riley Phillips qui va tenter de s'infiltrer dans un trou de souris. Mais Hugo de Wilde ne s'en laisse pas compter et conserve l'avantage dans la chicane de Puttens. Il va falloir réessayer pour Riley Phillips, alors que derrière Maxime Lénard eh bien, surmontait l'un des vibreurs à la sortie de la chicane. C'était un peu chaud là-bas pour Maxime et nous avons perdu, semble-t-il, Benoît Phillips. Que s'est-il passé pour Benoît qui vient de perdre? Oh, le voilà malheureusement. Et tout s'écroule pour Benoît qui vient de laisser passer Pierre Stockton pour la 4e place. Il va perdre également encore du terrain sur Jay Shepherd qui s'infiltre en 5e position. Que s'est-il passé là-bas? Sans doute un accrochage ou une faute de pilotage quoi qu'il arrive. Benoît Phillips vient de dégringoler de la 4e à la 6e place et avec cette mésaventure, eh bien, ses derniers espoirs de figurer dans le top 3 alors que nous sommes dans la bagarre pour la première place à bord avec Hugo de Wilde. Riley Phillips juste côte à côte avec le jeune pilote belge à l'approche du dernier virage avant la ligne droite d'arrivée. Il reste 9 minutes à disputer dans cette épreuve et rien n'est joué pour la bagarre. Pour la victoire, Riley Phillips prend enfin l'avantage sur Hugo de Wilde qui va devoir faire le même et défendre face à son compatriote Maxime Lénard, le leader du championnat avant cette épreuve, puisque Pierre Stockton a pris l'avantage pour à peine 4 petits points sur Riley Phillips en 3e position. Pour l'instant, leader, Hugo de Wilde qui tente de s'infiltrer, pris en sandwich littéralement par Maxime Lénard et Riley Phillips sont côte à côte, à 3 de front presque à l'entame du deuxième secteur de ce tracé d'Oulton Park. Riley Phillips qui prend l'avantage et Maxime Lénard qui s'infiltre en 2e position. Quelle magnifique bagarre entre ces trois-là. Et il nous reste un peu plus de 8 minutes, on en voudrait peut-être davantage, tellement ces 3 protagonistes nous tiennent en haleine dans cette conclusion de la bataille ici, de la bagarre pour la victoire dans cette manche 2 à Oulton Park. Mais pour l'instant, Riley Phillips va avoir l'avantage, une petite faute de pilotage, même une grosse de la part de Maxime Lénard qui perd tout l'avantage de son travail jusqu'ici. Il glisse mais parvient à conserver le contrôle de son niveau 3, mais le voilà qui rétrograde en 3e position.
Let's check.
Mistake.
Yeah, it was. What a shame that is for Benoit Phillips. Let's check in with Pierce Stockton now. What a lap that was. Lots of going on. Of course, we had Hugo de Wilde run wide as well. Now Pierce Stockton, in fact, Max Leonard, apologies, the one who was running wide. That's big in terms of the championship. So here you can see Max Leonard, who had that mistake, now rejoins. He has now got championship leader Pierce Stockton chasing him down. So this a big battle. If the positions stay as they are, then 70 points will go the way of Riley Phillips. Then we would have Max Leonard pick up 60. So Riley Phillips would become the leader of the championship. And in terms of Leonard and Stockton, they would not change position. So it would be Riley Phillips, Pierce Stockton and Max Leonard, your top 3 in that order. In terms of the points between them, we'll wait to the end of the race and then decide to figure that one out. But Benoit Phillips, he's now going to be a frustrated man in that car, or in that rig, shall we say, from his house. And he's not going to want to waste any time getting past Jay Shepherd. So I'd say we're going to see an aggressive strategy applied. Let's try and quickly run through our order while we have a break. So Riley Phillips, as we're about to go into the final 5 minutes, here's where we stand. Riley Phillips leads. He's being chased down by Hugo de Wilde in second. Then a 1.8 second gap. It's not over for Max Leonard in the battle for the lead, not by a second. He's third. Fourth is Pierce Stockton trying to go with him. Jay Shepherd is a whole 9 seconds back then, but he's having a fantastic run considering his qualifying earlier. He's in fifth. Benoit Phillips, though, could change that for Jay Shepherd. He's sixth. Ian Berrymans has had a good evening so far, and he could end it with a good seventh place. However, he's got to hold up Dave Farrow, who's only a second back, in eighth. Andrew Dawson, after his spin a little bit earlier, is now ninth, but still a solid evening for him. Tom Kemping, after getting stuck in the pit lane in race one, is now in the top 10 in race two, so a good result and a good recovery from the very back of the field. Eric Steinding is 11th, then Xavier Ville is, well, not in fact, it's going to be David Chatelain 12th. Xavier Ville is down in 14th because Nico Perez is now the one in 13th place. Oh, there they are. Oh, they were together somewhere. They were off the track together. They rejoined together, and they were both passed by Pierre-Andre Guillaume in the yellow cars. Yes. Maybe they. Oh, and there goes another one, and they're both off again. And I'm not even surprised anymore. Gerald Richard. We'll find out eventually where those two are, but Gerald Richard will now be 14th. Perez 15th, Lancelot Alstein 16th, and it's going to be Schinkel, Veal, Spitals, Fiorentino, Soyez. Sadly, we've lost Besson and Philippe Loriquet, but we must end that there and go back to this battle because Benoit Phillips is now past Jay Shepherd.
Thank you, Chris. Voilà pour l'ordre provisoire, évidemment, puisqu'il va encore changer. Jay Shepherd en pleine bagarre là-bas avec Benoit Phillips, le pilote français qui tente évidemment et qui vient de se frayer un passage en 5e position là-bas. 6 dixièmes entre les deux. Nous sommes à bord de Jay Shepherd en 6e position avec cette superbe livrée aux couleurs du tartan britannique. À la poursuite, c'est du pilote M3M en 5e position de la Phillips que l'on attendait peut-être à meilleure fête alors qu'il se mêle à la bagarre pour ce qui était alors une potentielle victoire vu que le top 4 se tenait dans un mouchoir de poche avant une petite erreur ou un accrochage. Malheureusement, ça s'est passé en dehors de l'œil de nos caméras, ce qui lui a fait retomber en 6e position. Mais le voilà qui remonte, en tout cas qui tente de remonter au 5e rang, mais il devra sans doute s'en contenter puisque l'écart avec le top 4 est relativement conséquent pour l'instant. On rejette un œil justement sur ce qui se passe en tête. Riley Phillips, 1 seconde 4 d'avance sur Hugo de Wilde en 2e position. Et la bagarre à votre écran entre Maxime Lénard et Pierre Stockton, le numéro 256. Une nouvelle livrée, une première victoire ce soir, la deuxième dans le cadre du championnat virtuel hivernal de la Fun Cup. Et à la poursuite de Maxime Lénard qui était le leader virtuel en arrivant à Oulton Park et qui va engranger évidemment de précieux points, mais qui devra peut-être laisser son siège de leader provisoire à Riley Phillips en tête pour l'instant et qui tente évidemment de conserver cet écart le plus longtemps possible sur Hugo de Wilde en 2e position. Hugo qui est occupé à se refaire une santé évidemment après les ennuis de la première épreuve et son accrochage qui avait vu toutefois remonter jusqu'en 6e position à tenir cette pole avec une excellente entame de course, mais malheureusement pour lui en tout cas, Riley Phillips s'est montré le plus finot, il est parvenu à prendre l'avantage et a légèrement creusé l'écart. Mais pour l'instant, ces deux-là sont occupés à se tenir à distance. L'écart n'augmente pas, il ne diminue pas non plus, pour Hugo de Wilde. On verra ce qu'il en advient d'ici un peu plus de 2 minutes 30. Nous aurons le drapeau d'année qui sera brandi, qui de Riley Phillips ou de Hugo de Wilde avec peut-être Maxime Lénard pour créer la surprise. Dans les derniers instants de cette épreuve, il va devoir pour ça contenir les assauts de Pierre Stockton. Et quand on connaît la motivation et le sens du travail bien fait de la part de Pierre Stockton qui pourrait conserver ou du moins prendre la tête du championnat à l'issue de ce round de ce soir à Oulton Park, tout peut encore se passer dans les 2 dernières minutes de cette épreuve.
Just under 2 minutes in this race remaining now, and we are on board with championship leader for the time being, Pierre Stockton, as he makes his way up hilltop, flashing the lights at Max Leonard. He's trying to chase him down. Leonard, this will close the gap to Piers Stockton in the championship, but it will not see a change between the two. They will be second and third. Stockton second, Leonard third, with Riley Phillips the championship leader. However, Riley Phillips still has to bring it home safely. He's going to have one lap remaining when he crosses the line next time, as they now make their way up towards Druids Corner through the fast left-hander. Phillips leading the way in this second race, and he is on for what would be his second victory of the season. He took race 2 victory at the Nordschleife, and he looks like he could do it here a round later, Oulton Park as well. He just has to hold on for one more lap. Leonard third, Stockton fourth. Benoit Phillips has got himself a gap to Jay Shepherd. Then it's Merriman, Sparrow, Dawson and Kemping still in the top 10. The top 4 were once 3-4 abreast. They are now fairly equidistant, as Gerald Richard is trying to nick a position here on Pierre-Andre Guillaume, who's had a good second race. But Gerald Richard is going to put on the pressure now as they come up Clay Hill and make their way up towards Water Tower and in towards Druids Corner. Here they go, Gerald Richard looking left and looking right. Can he make his way through? Not quite. Let's see if he can get this move done at the final corner. There's no immediate threat in the top 4, so we'll stay with this one coming up to the final corner and see if we see a change. Then I'll hand it over to Guillaume to call us to the flag, as Riley Phillips looks like he could get this second win done. Hugo in second, Max Leonard third. So last lap, we're already about halfway through it now, Guillaume, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Chris. Riley Phillips on your screen, on his way to another victory in the Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series. This will be victory number 2 for Riley Phillips, and maybe synonymous of a championship leading position for the young Brit. Le chrono est arrivé à 0, chers amis. Ça veut dire que d'ici quelques instants, eh bien, l'homme que vous avez à l'écran, Riley Phillips, au volant de la numéro 994, s'apprête à franchir le drapeau damier victorieusement, ce qui sera sa 2e victoire dans le cadre de la Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series. Une victoire qu'ils allaient chercher à couteau tiré en parvenant à prendre le meilleur sur Hugo de Wilde, notre poleman dans cette 2e épreuve de la soirée. Hugo de Wilde que l'on est heureux évidemment de revoir dans le cadre de notre compétition virtuelle après quelques mois passés sur les pistes réelles cette fois-là. Eh bien, Hugo, on l'espère, sera de la partie jusqu'au terme, pourquoi pas, du championnat. En attendant, voici notre homme victorieux. Victoire de Riley Phillips qui franchit le drapeau à damier. 2e succès donc pour le jeune Britannique qui, on refera évidemment les petits comptes d'ici quelques instants, eh bien, reprend la tête des hostilités, reprend la tête du championnat à mi-parcours. 3 épreuves disputées, encore 3 à venir. La prochaine sur le circuit de Le Dénon, puis nous irons du côté de Donington Park et enfin la conclusion début mars à Spa-Francorchamps. Mais en attendant, victoire pour Riley Phillips devant Hugo de Wilde qui célèbre son retour de la compétition par une 2e position, un podium largement mérité pour Hugo qui aurait peut-être pu faire de même lors de la première épreuve sans quelques soucis en début de course. 3e place pour Maxime Lénard, 2e podium de la soirée pour l'un des évidemment protagonistes numéro 1 au sacre dans cette série hivernale, sacré champion de la précédente compétition en 2020. Pierre Stockton, 4e position devant Benoit Phillips, une des révélations certainement de ce soir à Oulton Park. Première participation, une 4e et une 5e place et le maximum de points et surtout de confiance engrangée pour le pilote M3M. Jay Shepherd a franchi la ligne d'arrivée en 6e position, puis nous avons Varamans en 7e place devant Farrow, puis Andrew Dawson en 9e position, Camping qui est 10e, Eric Stelling qui termine à 1 seconde un peu plus du top 10. Ensuite David Chatelain 12e, Pierre-André Guillaume 13, puis ensuite Gérald Richard 14e, Christophe Schinkel 5e, Xavier Vell 16e, Nico Perez en 17e position. Puis ensuite Alstine 18e et le reste du classement qui vient de m'échapper. Ceci conclut, chers amis, eh bien, la 2e épreuve de la soirée sur le circuit d'Oulton Park et nous allons d'ici quelques instants eh bien, pouvoir échanger quelques mots avec les protagonistes de ce soir. Chris, maybe I can leave you start with some of the protagonists that we had tonight in Oulton Park and maybe starting with the winner of round 2.
Yes, so we've got some drivers in the booth. We're going to speak to Riley, we're going to speak to Hugo de Wilde, we're going to speak to Max, we're going to speak to Piers as well. Let's start by speaking to our race winner. We've spoken to you once already. Riley Phillips, congratulations, your second win of the season, and you're now the championship leader. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it was a really, really tough race, the second one, because three M3M boys to get past, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. At the very start, I was struggling for quite a bit of pace, as was Piers. Yeah, luckily things started to fall into place, and I was able to catch back up. And then just a really long fight ensued, and somehow I came out on top of it. But yeah, amazing race.
It was good fun, wasn't it? I tell you what, was it as fun to drive as it was for us to watch? Because it was certainly an entertaining one to watch.
Oh, it was stressful. Yeah, no, it was fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Fantastic stuff. And in terms of going forward now for the rest of the season, we're halfway through. Do you feel you're in a good position to potentially challenge for this title, potentially win it?
I mean, yeah, leading right now is always a good position, but you don't really know what's going to happen for the next half of the races. So yeah, anything can happen, but looking forward to it.
And give us your view on the next circuit de Lebanon. Have you driven much of it?
I think we did it last season, and it was a great circuit. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, lots of elevation changes. Should be a good one.
Well, good stuff. Well, congratulations, Riley. New manager with you as well, of course, and I think he'll be very happy with what he's witnessed here this evening. So, congratulations from Riley Phillips. Guillaume, I'll hand over to you now to speak to Hugo de Wilde.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Hugo, maybe we can start a few words in English. Good evening.
Good evening, guys.
Good to have you back. It's been a while. We all know, of course, you've been quite busy last season. Hopefully busy again for the season ahead. Can you talk us through first your sensation behind the wheel back in the series? Because you showed already very promising pace throughout the two races. Quite a bit unlucky in race one, but you managed to get back up into speed for race two.
Yeah, it was not an easy one. The car has changed since the last time I drove there. So I had to adapt myself to the new version of the car, and obviously I discovered the track as well. So it was not easy. And yeah, race one I was involved in quite a few unlucky incidents, as you said. And then I tried to have some fun, which I did. And race two, I was starting on pole. I knew I was going to be under pressure with all the fast guys behind me. So was trying to do a strategy with Max to keep Riley behind, but he was really fast, so congrats to him.
Yeah, good stuff indeed. Thank you so much. While we're with you, and then we'll let you go, of course. Thanks again, of course, for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you. Hopefully, you'll have some time as well for the next rounds, depending, of course, of your schedule. But can you talk us through what's in the bag? What's the plan for you this season? Last year was very much about the European Formula Renault, and what can we expect you for 2021?
It's not easy, it's the time now when we are working on the plans. We are trying to go in endurance, but we need to find the budget. It's really not a easy situation with the coronavirus, because we need to find the budget, and as you all know, this sport is really expensive. So we are doing our best to try to find the best compromise, but now the goal is more endurance.
Yeah, endurance indeed. So all the best to you, Hugo. Peut-être on peut terminer sur un petit mot en français. Pour ceux qui nous écoutent, évidemment, encore une fois, un grand merci d'être revenu parmi nous. Belle prestation, belle performance, en tout cas dans ces deux courses. Un peu de malchance de la première, mais belle démonstration de la seconde. Donc on sent que le rythme, vous n'avez pas perdu du tout. Et peut-être un petit mot donc sur la saison qui arrive. On disait donc une année forcément 2020, évidemment compliquée par la pandémie, ça on le sait tous. Peut-être aussi un peu de malchance de votre côté. Comment est-ce que vous résumeriez 2020 du point de vue des performances?
Oui, c'est sûr que 2020, ça n'a pas été la saison espérée pour moi. Bon, après, je retire quand même énormément de positifs. J'ai fait quand même 3 podiums. J'ai pu découvrir, Road to Le Mans en LMP3 où j'ai fait des
Mhm.
très bons relais. Mais c'est sûr que le Covid a changé énormément de logistique au sein du team qui n'a pas aidé. Et j'ai pas eu de chance, hein, comme tu l'as dit, 6 problèmes techniques et 3 accrochages, donc j'ai été impliqué dans 3 accrochages, je pouvais rien faire. À chaque fois,
Tout à
les
fait.
autres ont été pénalisés. Mais bon, OK, ça fait partie de la course. Je pense que cette saison m'a beaucoup appris. J'ai énormément progressé cette saison parce que j'avais quand même un coéquipier qui était très rapide, donc il m'a bien fait progresser. Donc non, j'essaie d'en retenir le positif et comme je disais maintenant, on essaye de trouver les meilleurs plans possibles pour la saison prochaine. L'objectif, c'est d'aller en endurance, mais voilà, comme je le disais, c'est vraiment pas facile. Voilà, déjà de base, c'était pas facile de trouver des budgets. Avec le Covid, c'est là encore moins. Donc on essaye de faire notre mieux de notre côté pour essayer de trouver la meilleure option possible pour la saison prochaine.
Tout à fait. Bah, écoutez, on vous souhaite le meilleur en tout cas.
Merci beaucoup.
Bravo aussi pour le parcours jusqu'ici, la saison malgré tout que vous êtes parvenu à faire. Et voilà, on en retient effectivement le positif et les beaux progrès effectués. Et on se tient au courant évidemment très très vite et on espère vous revoir très très rapidement sur le circuit dans le meilleur programme possible évidemment.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Merci beaucoup Hugo et à très vite. Est-ce que vous aurez l'occasion peut-être de revenir faire un tour du côté de la série virtuelle?
J'espère. Je sais pas du tout, mais comme je disais, je sais pas du tout mes plans, ça change un peu tout le temps.
Bien sûr.
Mais ouais, dès que je suis à la maison, moi, ça me fait toujours plaisir. C'est toujours fun, ça me fait toujours plaisir de revenir rouler ici. Donc, dès que je suis dispo, je serai là, prêt à voir.
Très bien, très bien. Merci beaucoup. Ben, on restera en contact via Jean-Luc Dubois. Merci beaucoup en tout cas Hugo et voilà, le meilleur pour la suite de l'année.
Merci.
Thank you, Chris. Few nice words from Hugo that we once again we have to thank for being with us tonight. And as he said, as you guys all heard, 2020 has been quite a difficult season with some ups and downs, but still a lot of positives to keep in mind as well. Going ahead to 2021, and hopefully, as he just said, if he has the time, if he has the opportunity, and if he's at home, he'll be more than happy to be back with us and keep on competing in the Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series.
Well, thank you very much to Hugo de Wilde. It was great to commentate on Hugo actually at Hockenheim, both this season and last season. So wishing him all the best. Piers, if you are there, I'm going to ask you to briefly unmute. Of course, we did get the points. Guillaume, can you give us a quick update on the points before we speak to Piers?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, as we predicted, Riley is now the new leader of the Virtual Fun Cup Winter Series halfway through the championship with 391 points, with a 4-point lead on Maxime Linard in second place. And then we have Pierce dropping from first to third with 383 points. So still very tight, a bit of a gap built by Riley. We'll have to have confirmation, of course, once everything is in the bag, but that's how the situation looks to be.
Well, Piers, a bit of a trickier second race for you there. Tell us a little bit how it went from your point of view.
A trickier race. I just tried to keep up, if I'm being honest, and that was tough. That was my main goal, just hang on and see if Riley could get to the front and then try and hold those guys up, trying to pass them, whether I could actually catch up. Managed to get on the back of Max, and yeah, I just couldn't get within anything less than half a second, so I'll take fourth.
Yeah, I guess you could say when you have a situation like that, fourth is very good damage limitation, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's the best result I could have hoped for, really, I think.
So we've got Riley on 391, Max on 387, then yourself on 383. Really, it's just about just as tight as it was coming into this round, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks that way. It's going to be close all the way to the end, I think.
You three always seem to find yourself together as well at the front, particularly in the first races. So next, Circuit de Lebanon, what's your thoughts ahead of that one on 7th of Feb?
Not going to lie, I don't really like it.
Oh dear.
I have driven it on the game. Yeah, it's not my favourite, so I think I'm going to have to put some laps in. So fingers crossed.
2 weeks to practice, mate. Best of luck. Keep yourself safe, and we'll see you back here for round 4.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. Bye.
Well, Guillaume, over to you. We'll speak to Max Leonard finally before we close the show.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Even though we both know that Max is at ease both in French and in English, but we can start in French indeed. Bonsoir Max, vous m'entendez bien?
Bonsoir Guillaume, très bien.
À nouveau, deux performances de choix avec pas mal de points à la clé, même si on est quand même passé du Grand Nürburgring à Oulton Park, deux configurations différentes, même si pas mal de challenges ici également sur ce tracé-ci. Racontez-nous un petit peu vos impressions, c'était quand même très très serré lors des deux courses.
Ah ben oui, étrangement, c'était pour moi beaucoup plus compliqué qu'au Nürburgring. Il faut dire que là, on a encore quelques nouveaux arrivants avec un sacré niveau qui sont venus, donc notamment avec le retour de Hugo. Et puis on a vu que Riley à la maison avait un rythme insoutenable, pour être honnête. Donc oui, première course, on s'est retrouvé à 3 avec Pierce, et puis j'avais Riley derrière et Pierce devant, et je me suis dit il faut absolument que je garde Riley derrière et espérer qu'il va bien travailler avec moi pour aller chercher Pierce, parce que je savais très bien que s'il passait devant avec le rythme qu'il avait montré en qualif, ça allait être très difficile de suivre et de pouvoir espérer aller chercher autre chose que la P3. Donc malheureusement, il n'a suivi exactement le scénario attendu. Et puis voilà, deuxième course, comme Hugo l'a dit, on a essayé de travailler un petit peu ensemble pour garder Riley derrière, mais là encore, très compliqué. Donc voilà, un peu de limitation des dégâts, on va dire, et en espérant faire mieux à les deux noms.
Très bien. À propos de les deux noms, un petit mot d'ailleurs sur la prochaine épreuve. Donc d'ici 2 semaines, circuit familier. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire sur vos impressions?
Oui, circuit très familier que j'apprécie particulièrement. J'aime toujours y aller, que ce soit en vrai ou en virtuel. Un circuit très sympa, très technique, avec des changements d'altitude assez importants. Donc c'est vraiment un chouette circuit, assez technique. Donc vraiment très chouette à rouler.
Voilà, tout à fait. Écoutez, on se réjouit de vous avoir à nouveau en piste avec un peloton qu'on espère tout aussi fourni, puisqu'on avait 23 concurrents, dont vous, évidemment, au départ de ces 2 manches. Et on sent en tout cas que l'intérêt ne fait que grandir autour du championnat virtuel ici de la VW Fun Cup. Donc, on vous remercie encore une fois, Maxime, d'être parmi nous, évidemment, et bien de nous donner autant de sensations, autant de frissons depuis le début de la compétition.
Merci à vous.
Merci, bonne soirée. Thank you, Chris. A few words from Maxime, indeed, about how tight and how tough both the races were, and still very satisfied about both the results, of course, keeping on not only gaining points, but gaining and more confidence as well for the rest of the championship.
Yeah, well, Max Leonard, 387 for him, 391 for our leader, 383. I think Jean-Luc has joined us, Guillaume, so I think we might be able to get a quick word from him before we wrap, so I'll hand back to you.
Yes, indeed. Bonsoir Jean-Luc, vous m'entendez bien?
Oui, j'entends très bien, Guillaume. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, merci de nous rejoindre Béa, pour ces quelques mots de conclusion. Une belle soirée de compétition ici à Oulton Park avec, il faut le dire, un plateau de 23 concurrents. C'est un record depuis le début de la compétition. Vous devez être, j'imagine, satisfait de l'engouement de la série.
Oui, on a pu voir qu'il y a de nouveaux venus qui nous ont bien animés aussi. Je pense surtout à Benoît Philippe qui était dans le coup pour sa première apparition dans le championnat. On a quand même vécu un Riley qui était, comme le disait Max tout à l'heure, intouchable.
Tout à fait.
Et puis, globalement, on a pu voir que les 3 leaders sont toujours bien en tête. Hugo, avec peut-être un petit peu de déficit de roulage, n'était pas vraiment dans le coup au début. Et puis surtout, il a quand même été percuté par 2 fois dans le premier tour, ce qui ne l'a pas aidé vraiment à avoir un résultat satisfaisant. N'empêche qu'il a fait une remontée du fond de grille et pour repartir en tête dans la deuxième course. Bon, forcément, Riley était vraiment chez lui dans son jardin anglais, et il était le plus fort ce soir, je pense.
Tout à fait, plus fort ce soir, avec une revanche à prendre sans doute pour les pilotes francophones du côté de l'Odenon d'ici 2 semaines.
Oui, on espère que à l'inverse, les pilotes français et les Belges qui connaissent un peu le circuit de l'Odenon, notamment Hugo doit le connaître un petit peu, pourront prendre leur revanche dès cette course. Bon, néanmoins, on n'a pas été non plus, malchanceux. Hein. On fait quand même un résultat global qui est pas si mal que ça.
Tout à fait. Merci beaucoup, Jean-Luc. Thank you very much, Jean-Luc. I don't know if you want to say a few words in English or we can conclude now. Up to you.
Yeah, I can say to thanks the guys from UK. They do a great job. Riley still continue to make working this machinery and also driving as well. We saw tonight his talent, and it was a very nice race and still fighting, but very fair between Max and Riley.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jean-Luc. Thank you again for your support. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Jean-Luc, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. A big thanks to all our drivers as ever. They put on a really good show for us tonight, and we still have just 8 points between our top three. It's pretty much just as close as it was coming into the second round as we now reach the halfway stage. If you can't get enough of Virtual Fun Cup, make sure you check out the channel. Do subscribe. Go back and watch the first two rounds if you missed them. Round number 4 will be live at 8:30 UK time on the 7th of February from Circuit de Lebanon. That's when we will go live for qualifying. A big thanks to our new partners, Sports Alive, for being a part of the series. We look forward to talking to them more going throughout the series. Hopefully we'll get them on the broadcast next time as well and be able to get them into the booth. A big thanks to Guillaume, as ever, for joining us from Belgium in the commentary booth, and to Andrew Phillips as well for doing the camera work for us, and to Riley for putting on the whole show. I think that's about it, Guillaume. I think we can wrap there. So back in 2 weeks.
Back in 2 weeks, indeed. Back in France, in Le Denon. We had, once again, a lot of fun tonight in Oulton Park. Very nice track once again, the location, and you could feel that all the drivers had as much fun as we did. And once again, can't wait to be in 2 weeks' time to have the same sort of challenges, because Le Denon is quite, let's say, similar to the sort of layout that we had here in Oulton Park. So can't wait to be there and for even more fun. But in between, of course, you guys take care, everybody, and stay safe. And hopefully we'll get back very soon on the real tracks for the real season to start again.
Yeah, we will do. That's it, guys, from Virtual Fun Cup. Until the 7th of February, from all of us